Hey, are you seriously podcasting alone?
Nah, I'm with my
Bro, that's literally the hypest shit. Like, if your energy's down, just listen to the intro.
We got a juicy episode for everybody today. Juicy. Oh yeah. You understand why I say juicy later.
Oh fuck!
There's a lot of juice in there, man. It's very juicy.
It gets so dirty.
Yeah. I am John, sitting here with another John and one Nicola.
Hola.
Across the aisle from me, I have Priscilla.
Hey.
She's here to keep us on track, make sure we don't say anything too stupid and for too long. Today we have a special guest. Yeah. My homie Z.
Yes, sir.
Hi Z.
How you doing?
What's up, Z?
I'm good. What's up with y'all? Oh, what's up with y'all?
Good.
Good.
So what are we talking about today?
You want to tell them a bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I go by Z, and I got a little thing going on YouTube called JustFairPlay. We do reactions. We cover all bases, all kinds of stuff. We don't limit ourselves to music. Also sports. Yeah, we just try to touch everything and everything that's pop culture and that's hot.
That's fucking dope.
I got something extra hot for you today, Z.
All right.
So Z, do you know what twin flames are?
I heard about it.
I've got no idea.
You got no idea?
Tell us about it.
He's the one.
I wasn't supposed to say I heard about it.
No, it's actually perfect that you don't know anything about it.
Okay, so I don't know shit about it.
Yeah.
That's where you get the most out of it.
So in Greek mythology, when Prometheus was tasked with creating humans, he made them with two sets of everything: 2 heads, 2 arms, 2 legs. This is something that did not sit well with Zeus, so he decided to split the pairs in half. Therefore, each half will spend its life looking for the other one.
Oh, that's cute.
It's cute, right?
Like little turtle doves.
Nice monologue.
So this morsel of Greek mythology would go on to become the precursor to a concept in New Age spiritualism called twin flames. The concept assumes that everybody is entitled to one truly perfect match in the world, and that it is one's responsibility to do everything they can to find their soulmate.
Everything.
We're gonna find out, just how far. So the 2 individuals who are considered perfect matches are called twin flames. And this is a concept that has been floating around since the late 19th century. It came up in some weird proto-sci-fi book from the 1800s, just spiritualist shit. Today we're gonna talk about what happens to a concept like this in the internet age, as well as what happens when you put an idea like that in the hands of somebody who is capable of capitalizing on it.
Imagine it's just a whole bunch of stalker ass behavior. It's just like Twitter stalking, Instagram stalking. It's like
that's what we're getting into. It starts with a love story. Jeff Ian was born in Lapeer, Michigan. Jeff grew up kind of a nerdy kid. He was in the swim team, he did theater, and he and his friends would shoot comedic skits in the hopes of going viral. So there's this one story about how when Jeff lost his virginity, he and his friends made a bunch of white t-shirts saying Jeff lost it, with Jeff's shirts saying I lost it.
wow, he's such a comedic guy.
I don't fucking get it, bro.
You just go to the club to say he lost his V card. Bro.
He's 27 years old.
They rent the whole.
Actually, he was in college. He was a little older. He passed his teenage years. He was in his early 20s when it happened. So
that's probably why it was such a hype. Their friends were like,
that was literally it was a thing. It was a pact between bros where it was like, the day it happens, bro, we're gonna make t-shirts. And he texts, we're gonna throw you a big party and we're gonna make t-shirts. And then he just texted his best friend get ready to party. That was his thing.
Yo, imagine this whole time.
Get the t-shirts ready, bro. I did it.
Imagine this whole time he was fucking trolling. He didn't actually lose his fucking virginity.
Does my uncle count?
God damn.
But Jeff had another lifelong obsession: getting rich. He devoted countless hours reading about or listening to the speeches by Warren Buffett and other successful billionaires.
You didn't listen to Andrew Tate?
That's probably a good way to start.
It wasn't in his time, but he was probably in that zone of After he graduated from business school, he suddenly decided to sell all his possessions and move to Hawaii. He also changed his name to Ender Ianithos as a reference to the 1977 sci-fi novel Ender's Game.
What the the fuck?
I knew I recognized that name too because I read that book. That's
Just to
some,
give
like-
you an idea of what a fucking nerd he is.
You know
What a
how much of
wild
a
fucking
theater
switch.
kid he is? That's what he did. That's the most theater kid energy I've ever seen in my life. Ender? You call yourself Ender from the fucking book.
Ender on purpose. Like, normally people that are called Ender would change it to Andrew.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, that's a fucked up name, dude.
And by the way, so you read the book, Priscilla. Do you mind explaining a bit of what it's about?
It's kind of like these super intelligent kids that are in this, I'd say, like dystopian future, and they are tasked with like fighting back this like alien race coming in. And there's like a whole plot twist towards the end where they thought the alien race was kind of like this dumb civilization, but they really weren't. They were actually quite intelligent and had their own form of communications and anything. And it kind of, it puts in this like philosophical like dilemma in the main kid being like, oh shit, like we thought they were just like stormtroopers or whatever, dumb idiots, but they were actually really intelligent beings and everything. So they kind of have that, but he's super intelligent. The kid is like super intelligent.
That just speaks to humans, man. Like, we think everybody's stupid. Like,
Yeah.
the fuck? They fly fucking drones all day. You think they fucking stupid, man? Right.
And that kid being Ender, right?
Yes.
So this gives you an idea of what he thinks of himself.
It's fan fiction.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I saw that. I was like, this is straight up fan fiction.
He also, for a brief time, named himself Shafira Ionethos, but that didn't stick like Ender.
Shafira?
Shafira.
Shafira. Yeah, I was about to say Shafira.
While living in Hawaii, he built a shack which he repurposed as a vegetarian Airbnb, and he would also.
The fuck is a vegetarian Airbnb?
How are you an Airbnb? And
I think it's like you pay to stay there, and it's like if you bring like any meat in there, you're like, well, sorry, but it's in our rules. We're not allowed to bring meat here. This
You're
is a
fine.
non-meat house.
No, it's probably
You're fine,
something like
$300.
your mattress is made out of bamboo or some shit.
Everything is slowly rotten.
You could smoke everything in this room.
yeah,
It's all hemp.
You know what? That's a good place to live.
That's a good B&B.
It's like that scene in Scary Movie too, where he just starts smoking like the whole plan in there. Like
Yeah.
you can just smoke anything in that house.
He would also document his newfound hippie lifestyle in a blog called Ender's Adventures.
Which nobody read.
He then started offering his services as a life and career coach. Please note that at this point, Jeff is 25 years old and living in a shack in Hawaii.
So not much of a life and not much of a career.
Is he like a trust fund baby?
No. So his dad is actually like, his dad was like kind of blue collar. That's the only person I got info from. His dad was like a blue collar worker, really like, you know, they were living, you know, well. He did have some friends who had a little more money than him, but him and his dad would always butt heads over shit like that too, because he was lazy. Jeff was very fucking lazy, while his dad was a very like pull yourself by your bootstrap type guy, by the way.
All right.
It's interesting to note here that at one point around this time, he tweeted, quote, "Someone said I should start a cult. Free punch at my jungle compound."
Nice.
Who the fuck would join that cult?
This would come back later.
Jungle. He's in Hawaii.
It's a reference to Jonestown,
Okay.
because everybody drank Kool-Aid and it was laced with cyanide and everybody died. That was his idea of humor. So here I just got a couple of other of his tweets. Z, would you want to read these tweets?
Yeah, and new personal best, 36 consecutive push-ups. It's a punk rock kind of morning.
Bro, that's some Andrew Tate shit, but like
The
10
fuck?
years ago.
36.
Yeah.
That's me after shoulder surgery.
Let me keep going. Sun-warmed bananas, rip off the rack.
Ripe off the rack.
Ripe off the rack. Sorry for my Frenchism. Gotta be my favorite breakfast. My work is sometimes so fun that I will literally hold having to pee for dozens of minutes before finally pausing for a potty break.
This is his life advice.
Whatever, that's fine.
These are his tweets.
It's like before taking a shit, I'm telling you.
And, like, nobody's
I work hard. I work hard.
And nobody's engaging with them either.
There's no likes. There's no.
Fucking
No, there's
weirdo.
like one of them that the fucking cult one got a retweet.
Okay.
And
That's
the
all.
retweet is probably just to send to somebody to say, like, look at this fucking idiot.
It's my other account.
And he's going to have like one comment and it's going to be like, hey, there's hot singles in your
So this hippie lifestyle of his would put him on a path towards meeting his own twin flame, Shalila.
Shalila.
So born Megan Plant, Shalila is a Canadian spiritualist who was living in Arizona.
Stop right there. Spiritualist. Now you done lost me, brother. It's over. You already know where this is going.
Where do you go to school for that?
So she's from Canada. Her name is Megan Plante.
Megan Plant.
Yeah.
The
No,
daughter
No.
of the Mayoress?
Probably not. Probably
This
not.
goes
But
full
interesting to
circle,
point.
guys.
The name changed to Shalila,
Now he's got a vegetarian girlfriend.
which she frequently mispronounces on her own. Sometimes she'll like say her name wrong.
Shalila.
Shalila. Yeah, like it's supposed to be Shalia, but then sometimes I just say Shalila, but typing it up is actually a pain in the ass too, because it's just like
What is it actually?
it's an annoying name that you got to back and forth on the keyboard for. And so, yeah, I just had fun with it this time.
I feel like
So-
with the dumb name choices that he took earlier, like he picked her name. Like,
She was Shalila before you met her.
oh, really? Okay.
So she ended up living in Arizona after her mother passed away. She claims that she'd make her living doing photography, psychic readings, and Reiki therapy, but mostly she worked at a Thai restaurant to make ends meet.
Okay, because I was about to say, what is she, Miss Cleo? Like, how is she making that much money off of that?
No, it does not.
Especially for reading.
There's a very small market for that. So while visiting Arizona around 2012, Jeff was introduced to Megan via a mutual friend, and they added each other on Facebook, where Jeff would later go on to comment on one of Megan's pictures, saying she was, quote, weirdly sexy.
That's a weird ass comment.
That's what all ladies want to hear.
That's
Like,
like
you're
wildly
weirdly
out of pocket.
sexy.
Oh, that's just a modern day way of trying to shoot your shot. But what a horrible way to shoot your shot, though.
You're like sexy, but it's like weird.
Yeah. The fuck.
What
like
the fuck?
your face is a bit like fucked up, but like you're kind of cute.
I like it.
Yeah.
Like you got a weird ass nose, but my gosh, you're round.
By the way, that's them, by the way.
We can make it work.
That's them later, not at the time where they met, but I mean... So
They fit.
I mean, she's weirdly sexy.
So this is from their book, which I actually had to fucking purchase.
Oh my!
That's the one thing I did give them money for.
The amount of infiltration that
Yeah,
Don did for this.
I did
one.
do some infiltration for this. This is from their book about their encounter, right? She messaged me that night, quote, "You horny?" I blinked at my computer screen. "This woman is ridiculous." "Always," I replied, while brushing her off. What kind of woman messages a man for the first time like that? She doesn't even know me. Of course, we had been Facebook friends for a year. I commented something on a few of her photos.
Oh.
I thought she was weirdly sexy. But really, that's all that came of it. And now this. I have so many other women interested in me, and she doesn't look like America's Next Top Model.
Fucking liar. Fucking bullshit.
So many other women interested.
But the conversation continued, and before I realized it, I didn't even have a chance of shaking off this connection. I ignored her the best I could, but she wanted me to pursue her. I thought to myself, yeah, tough luck, cookies. I'm busy with 9 million other women pursuing me.
9 million.
Why would I make it harder on myself than it needs to be? But the conversation with her continued, and within 30 minutes of talking to her, I had done something I had never done before in my 26 years of babe hunting. I asked her to marry me.
That's the most
Babe hunting.
incel shit ever, bro.
My 26 years of babe hunting.
Meanwhile, he's friends with her for like a year, likes all her posts,
He's been with one girl a year ago.
Yeah.
That's it.
and he made a T-shirt about it.
He lost his virginity like a year ago, and he's already like, the 9 million girls that are here for me.
He's been playing with bananas in Hawaii for like... The two of them got married. A match made in heaven, not only because of their spiritual interests, but also because these two had a much stronger interest in common, scamming people out of their money.
Fuck yeah. That's true love.
Shalila introduced Jeff to a lot of new age spiritualist mumbo jumbo and tarot card readings and psychic baloney. And Jeff gets sucked into it. Not because he actually sees something spiritual in it, but because he can smell dollar signs.
He did the math.
He did the math.
That's where it comes in.
Yeah. At this point, Jeff was still going by Ender Ionethos and as a lifestyle design entrepreneur on LinkedIn.
Lifestyle design entrepreneur. What the fuck is that?
It's like just to say that you're a couch bum and you give advice.
It's
And
not a
then
real
they
job.
just want to make it sound nice.
You know what this room needs? An ottoman. Your
What
room
the
needs
fuck?
an ottoman.
Like you seriously got that on LinkedIn.
Yeah. One of his first ventures was a service where he claimed to be able to heal people's physical illnesses by extracting their childhood traumas from them.
Because he looks like Jesus, he thinks he can be Jesus.
Yeah. He once told his childhood friend that he had just cured a woman's multiple sclerosis this way. Jeff then apologized to that friend for not having discovered his powers in time to save that friend's mother from dying of cancer.
My God.
So does he doesn't believe this himself, right?
It's hard to tell sometimes.
Does he come to a point where he believes he is Jesus Christ?
The thing is, with a lot of these guys, they start out not believing it, but they get so sucked that at some point it does feel like they actually do believe their shit.
Yeah.
It's like that actor that like plays a character and then just
Goes off the rails.
becomes that character.
Yeah.
Jared Leto.
Fucking Jared Leto. I mean, Jared Leto could play this guy. Jared Leto would be
very
perfect.
well.
Yeah.
Very
It's a
well.
great-
The long hair, the 5 head.
I mean, not now that he's on Ozempic and shit, but
Being weirdly sexy.
He's also, I think he's already trying to play that role. He's been method acting as his own cult leader for
He's
a while.
literally been, yeah, it's
Actually.
true. Yeah, shoot, we got to get into that.
He's
It's
got
true.
insider
I forgot about
information,
that.
man.
Yeah, him and Ezra Miller. So anyway, Jeff's business did not pan out. However, Jeff and Shalila soon realized that with their combined powers, her knowledge of tarot cards, astrology, and kyber crystals, his knowledge of the internet and everything audiovisual, they realized there was some real potential behind that.
everything audio visual.
Are kyber crystals the things to activate the super engines on spacecrafts?
It's actually for lightsabers.
Okay.
That was my own creative twist. That was for my Star Wars nerds, dog. So they initially started out with a blog called Awaken Intimacy, where the two of them would share tidbits of what makes a perfect spiritual couple. This blog eventually mutated into what today is a $1 million empire of influence, the Twin Flame universe. At one point, they both moved in with one of Jeff's friends, and that's where they started building their YouTube personas. So while they're living together, Jeff and Shalila would eat nothing but hot dogs for every meal.
Wow.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, nothing but hot dogs.
Gotta love glizzies.
So much for that freaking vegetarian Airbnb.
Right? Like,
What a hard left to take.
They got money and just went gobble gobble.
gobble, gobble. And so when their roommate kind of confronted him about this is what they said, quote, "When we eat hot dogs, we feel good. And because we feel good, we know the Divine Mother is providing for us. And then we know that hot dogs is all that we have to eat."
Shit, guys, we go to a chicken shop after this because I'm feeling spiritual.
So Jeff and Shalila started their YouTube channel around 2014, and they gained popularity pretty quickly, eventually branching out and forming Facebook groups to shelter their growing communities. Twin Flames Universe's modus operandi is actually a hodgepodge of different scams and cult techniques. It begins as a standard give me money in exchange for divine wisdom, transactional style cult, but it also acts as an MLM scheme as well. Introduction to TFU happens by either finding their videos on YouTube, and through them you get invited to join their private Facebook group. And so this is where I have my infiltration insider info, because I did this. I decided to join their Facebook group.
Yeah.
I spent a week in it. It was fun. Saw a lot of posts that were interesting that I'll read later.
Did you find your twin flame?
No, but literally, so when you join the group, you're almost instantly love bombed by everybody there. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, congratulations, our newbies are here." It was like me and 30 other people that got tagged on a post. And it's like a party in your honor, and everybody's just waiting for you to waltz right in. Shortly after being admitted to the group, you will be assigned a designated ascension coach. So that happened to me too. They tagged me on a post. They separated in 3, and they said, "This guy is your ascension coach." And that guy DM'd me like that day. And started asking me questions.
Like what? What was the conversation?
So it's basically just like, "Hey, how's it going? How are you?" And then like, "What got you into TFU?" And I was like, I'm just curious. And it's like, "Well, what are you curious about?" And I just kind of like, "Well, I'm like, you know, I'm not sure if all of this is like real." And I just kind of like, anyway, all of it just like standard back and forth shit that escalated towards, you know, you should join this call. And I didn't join the call.
What? Why?
I didn't join the call because the call was gonna cost money.
It's a paywall for the call.
How much was the call?
We'll get into that. So that ascension coach will then try to get to know you, and eventually you'll be invited to a group call that takes place on Zoom or Google Hangouts. These are the introductory lessons where as much information as possible about you and your goals is sponged up by coaches for later repurposing. This will eventually work its way up to you being invited to enroll in what they call Ascension School, which is basically their key goal. to get you to pay for products and courses that they sell to you at insanely ridiculous prices.
It's Hustlers University.
I mean, Hustlers University is on the same. It's on its way there. So
It's already there, bro.
yeah,
Joe, don't talk shit about Top G, bro.
we don't talk about Cobra Tate on here.
That's my boy.
So now you could be a brokey and pay $888 for Sermons of the Twin Flame Ascension School, which is a compilation of their lessons. So like basically their Zoom courses get downloaded and then they edit you a compilation of them, which you can buy for $888 if you're too broke to join the class.
God.
Damn.
So according to the website, it contains 55 sermons and over 25 hours of video. And one of the pages for this glorified mixtape is a description made by TFU members. So this is from their product page. We asked 100 of our dedicated students to describe what the Sermons of Twin Flame Ascension School means to them. Here's what they said. How beautiful. Only the best sermons from Twin Flame Ascension School condensed into one product. I'm very grateful for how much love that was put into selecting the most important messages and lessons from Twin Flame Ascension School. These have stupendous value. My favorite thing about sermons from Twin Flame Ascension School is that they are small, bite-sized chunks of larger TFAS classes, but not just any bite-sized chunks. They're packed full to the brim with love. They're a collection of the very best, most powerful golden nuggets from TFAS and can be watched in short spans of times. I feel like the sermons of Twin Flame Ascension School give all the keys needed on the Twin Flame journey. It really is a no-brainer to have them. They are such a blessing in my life.
Deadass, this guy has a freaking gun to their head.
They're like that, those Chick-fil-A fucking workers. Y'all ever been to Chick-fil-A? What the fuck? Smiling on the fucking top. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with y'all?
You know why they're this much? It's because a lot of them are like Mormon kids, and it's like their first time outside. To like
No
if you go into like
way.
yeah, a lot of them are
Yeah.
Mormon, so they're like, oh my god, it's like we're finally talking to like different people, so like they're very nice, and because of the Mormon
Oh,
church
fuck.
of it,
Yeah, stop being
it's
mean to
crazy.
the cultist kids, Z.
Bro, that shit is not normal, man. I'm used to the McDonald's workers that be like you again, motherfucker.
They're like,
what the fuck do you
Type
So
want?
what's your fat ass want?
they're like, type nice things about Twin Flames, but you're off on Sundays. Just like Chick-fil-A.
I'm going to skip a little ahead of their stupid description because this last bit is funny. On the days when I can't watch either Twin Flame Ascension School or Life Purpose class, I'll turn on a sermon before bed and receive delicious Twin Flame wisdom.
Delicious.
From two ugly losers that like, what have they ever done in their life? What
I
wisdom
mean,
do
they
they have?
built $1 million empire.
I mean, I guess.
You want to learn from these guys, look at them from the outside and get an idea of how an MLM works. It's basically what you do.
MLM? I don't know what that is.
Multi-level marketing.
Okay, yeah.
Next episode
scheme.
of the podcast.
A pyramid scheme, yeah,
The boys
pyramid
start
scheme.
a cult.
So-
Gotta fund the podcast.
But the reason I bring it up in the first place is because, as with most multi-level marketing schemes, those 100 members who wrote this were forced to buy the sermons pack, despite already being part of the Ascension School. Because that's rule number 1 of an MLM scheme. You sell to your inner circle before anyone else. So literally, if you decide to be a coach in here, you are obligated to buy every course product they make. That's how most of them work.
And
So how
wait,
do they make the money?
what would
Well,
be
because
the
here,
coaches.
by being coaches, they make money by bringing in people. They get a bonus from bringing people in, and they give lessons. They're authorized to give lessons. So when they give lessons, they get paid per lessons. Jeff and Shalila take a percentage,
Yeah.
but also whatever money they make goes back into Ascension School because they have to buy the new lessons in order to teach them to other people.
Okay.
This is how most companies work. I think back when I was a teenager, there was a fucking company called Cutco that was trying to get a bunch of teenagers to work for them, where it's basically you were selling knives door to door, but the catch was you had to buy the knives before selling them. Yeah. Is don't you want to be self-sufficient and start your own business? And
So
there's
there's no loss at the top.
we're going to talk about Amway at some point and other brands that do that style. Avon.
But the way, like, does every course have like a set price, or is it just like they it's obviously like, or it could be
My
like,
friend, we're about to
what
get
you
into
need.
it. And if you want to be a legit TFU member, you got to commit. And by commit, I mean you got to sign up for Ascension School, which costs $3,333 or 12 monthly installments of $333.
they really like their
They're because
their
Shalila's a
numbers.
numerologist.
Listen, if you have a hard time buying a car, Fuck the car. Get the class, and then you can buy 2 cars in a month. Think smart. Think
So
twin flames.
here's just like a little tour of what their website looks like price wise. So their fucking book, which I bought on Kindle, was $10. Then they have another thing called Twin Flame Healing Meditations, $14.99. Toronto Talks Workshop, $111. Romance in Sedona Workshop. This is where you get to see them live. These are tickets to go see them live, basically. $123, 123. Romance Attraction e-course, $333, so 333. Sermons of Life Purpose class, $555. You see the trend with the most expensive ones being Twin Flame Ascension School, $3,333. Life Purpose class, the same price. But you can get the Everything package, which is all Twin Flames universe products in one, for $8,888, or 12 installments of $888. You see, because in numerology, 8 is the infinite sideways. So it's the luckiest number. So that's why you should charge $8,888.
That's fucking crazy.
You'll get
Sounds
lucky
like
to
this-
get your money back on that one. So with all these prices, you have to get everything that's on the website, then you can do it, or you have to just buy the Everything package, and then you can be a teacher.
Yeah, but who can afford the Everything package?
Well, obviously,
Not a lot
true
of people.
believers.
So yeah. But therein lies the cycle. Like almost nobody gets the Everything package. Everybody gets the broken down one, the monthly one, because they can't pay $3,000 on one drop, but they can pay $333 a month.
Yeah.
But don't you want to have that Porsche and that Ferrari? Like,
Yeah, you got to buy the Everything package.
you gotta
That
get
comes
everything
later after you learn.
So
after you learn.
So now, if you want to become a coach, which is highly advocated by Jeff and Shalulu, then you must buy all the classes and
I fucking love that. You can't drop it in a conversation and not start laughing. So Jeff and Shalulu.
What?
Especially when you see your face.
Yeah, and when you hear her talk too, she's like, yeah, like he's so hot.
So that barmaid, like
He's
Shalulu.
my
It's
twin
like,
flame.
who the fuck is
Yeah, she has kind of a vocal fly. Like
Oh my
when
God.
there'll be a point later where I'll get to it later, but it's really fucking funny. So it's highly advocated by Jeff and Shalulu that you become a coach. Then you must buy all the classes and are pushed to sell a lifetime membership for $2,222, which comes with a 10% commission. But this commission isn't worth anything if you're directly funneling it back towards TFU, the next online course you have to pay. So, and there's even this like one story in the Amazon Prime documentary. There's like a 18-year-old girl who's being like pressured by a coach to sign up, and she's like, I don't have money, and so she's like, oh, that's okay. Well, like, she sends her a link and basically starts talking through signing up for a credit card via PayPal, and literally
What the fuck?
the girl got declined, thankfully. But yeah.
Damn.
That's insane.
That's a fucking bullion right there.
Yeah. So the Ascension classes go down like group therapy sessions via Zoom or Google Hangouts. Each of the classes were recorded to later be sold as part of material that members were told to replay to themselves as often as possible when offline. Members attending Ascension School are usually single, mostly women, and desperate to find true love, not hookups. Shortly after joining, members are told that anyone impending in their twin flame journey, whether it be by expressing doubt or concern, are considered energy leaks. Members are told that it is imperative to shut down and cut contact with these energy leaks if they want to find their own twin flame. This is cult 101 stuff, separating the victim from their family/friends, support system to ensure that they are not getting any form of doubt or criticism from the outside. If I joined the cult and they started telling me, I'm like, actually, bro, I can't hang out with you because you're like an energy leak, bro.
You don't got enough like crystals at home?
You're like draining my balls of energy. Can't do it. So,
Do they ever meet these people in person?
If you go to the talks?
yes, eventually, if you go to the workshops, yeah.
Okay.
So the only cases in which exceptions can be made is if those so-called energy leaks are supporting the members financially. So if you don't cut off your family if they're the ones sending you money to pay for these classes, don't do that.
If you live under the roof, I mean, to pay for the classes, you're fine.
So many members sign up with the goal of finding their twin flame. However, a lot of them sign up with preconceived ideas of who their twin flame already is, but they need advice on how to make that other person realize that they are indeed twin flames.
That leads to healthy relationships every time.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you're in love with me. You just don't know it yet.
Let me show you.
Let me get a cult to tell you how much in love you are with me and that you don't know it yet. That is so scary.
I just picture like one of them being like, I've been like stalking her on Instagram for like months, and I've been telling her like you're mine, but like, can you just talk to her? And like the coach has to like be like the mom that pulls up and be like, can you play with my son? Can you just play with his balls, please?
He finds you weirdly sexy. Just talk to him, please. Come on.
One of them actually probably, I guarantee one of them pulled out that line. He's like, I heard like my true Jesus told me like I gotta tell her like she's wildly sexy, and then he just pulls that line and it's just like, what the fuck, man? It didn't work.
So we're gonna jump into a case right now. The case of Keely and Colby. Keely was a young woman in her early 20s when she met a guy at the grocery store she worked at named Colby. He then showed her the ropes around the place and made her early days at that job a much less anxious experience for her. Keely and Colby dated for a bit, but it eventually fizzled out and they moved away from each other. Years later, Keely would find herself longing for Colby and asking the internet why she felt this way about one person in particular. The internet slowly steered her down the path of Twin Flames universe. Keely booked sessions with Jeff and Shalili.
Shalili?
My bad. That one was not even scripted. I scripted some mispronunciations, and that one was literally just
Shalela.
Shalulu, Shalila.
Shakaboom.
Oh, it's gonna get more ratchet.
So
Oh,
who
there you go.
eventually, so she booked sessions with Shalilu and Jeff. Eventually,
Hey there, my Shalilu.
so they validated that Colby was indeed Keely's twin flame. Keely was encouraged to reach out to Colby and bring him into the TFU family.
Oh shit, they got her.
Yeah. And Colby was actually really receptive to the whole idea. After 2 months of rekindling their relationship and attending Ascension School, Keely and Colby got married.
Oh no, they got both of them. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
The 2-for-1 deal, because that's the thing too. It's she reaches out to him and then he's got to pay for his lessons. Even if you're a couple, that doesn't mean you get a 2-for-1 deal.
Wait, you know what sucks is that the fact that he was down to get back with her and now they had to pay for that shit when it could have been free.
Right? She could have just
that's
slid
for
back into the DMs like.
She's like, actually, we like each other. Like,
This
why
is
are
the
we
shit
doing
that
this?
drives me insane, because there's in some cases there's people who are literally back together or are already together and then join this because they think it's some sort of fucking like couples therapy. Like,
You know what? Let me call my ex. I'm gonna
get her into it.
If my girl comes up to me and tells me, I want you to be my twin flame, I'll be like, what the fuck you talking about, man?
We
Say that
already
shit again, man.
we already twin flames.
Literally,
You're
the-
about to be single.
Yeah, say that shit again and I'm dropping this.
if any cult research has taught me anything, it's the minute somebody is in it, literally hold them against their will. Don't do that. I can't legally tell you to do that.
This is all figurative.
But literally, if you can't, you're never going to convince them psychologically to come back. You got to keep them in a room and
John, you're like-
get Dr. Phil.
You're like, you got to hold them down. I mean, I can't say that, but like,
Wink, wink.
Don't do that. We didn't advocate.
Don't do that. We're not telling you to do that.
Don't do that. That's what I would do.
just stare into the camera, give them a little wink.
10 years later, I'm going to get canceled for not letting my girlfriend go to her shift at Chick-fil-A. So Keely and Colby became the Ken and Barbie of the group. The Temu version of that for Twin Flames, at least. They were the model example of what sorry. They were. It's so fucking hard, man.
Now it's like the complete opposite of
Shut up.
it.
They were the model example of what Jeff and Shaq Fu called a harmonious twin flame union.
Just a 6 foot, like
I don't give a
7
shit.
foot.
I don't
black
give
guy.
a shit. Okay, Shalila's a fucking asshole too. I'm dead naming her. I'm not dead naming her. Actually, I'm using her real name. I'm just fucking with her stupid made up name.
I just see Shaq in like a fucking kimono, just like.
Shout out to Shaq Fu. That was a dope ass video game.
Shaq is weirdly sexy, actually.
Come on, baby. I just want you to join this cult with me.
Twin flames.
Shaq thinks he found his twin flame.
Shut the fuck up, Skip.
They were the model example of what Jeff and Shalila called a harmonious twin flame union, because anyone could claim they had a twin flame union. That was not a copyrighted like trademark term. That actually was all over like the spiritual world, and there's a ton of YouTube channels that talk about this shit. But only people who were in TFAS could achieve harmonious union.
So they're like the only like real twin.
Yeah, because like we're twin flames, but they're like, well, are you harmonious twin flames though? that do you have your blue check mark? certified.
Did you pay for your subscription to get your blue check mark?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you stupid? I see, it doesn't work then.
So Jeff quickly persuaded Keely to become an Ascension's coach so she could help and inspire other TFU members in their search for love. He constantly pushed Keely to buy all the classes and attend all the live workshops as well. In the lead up to Keely and Colby's marriage, Jeff started a GoFundMe to help them and swayed the entire group into donating for the cause. This seems pretty cool, except when you consider the fact that Keely and Colby had little to no autonomy over how they'd spend that money. They were told what to spend it on, quote, down to the curtains in their home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
So already you're broke spending money on these fucking people. And you don't even get to choose what you do with your own money?
No.
No. Then they say, look, we'll fund it, but you got to be our poster.
What you really need in your house for your marriage to work is like a crystal. 2 crystals, binary ones.
They're probably telling them like, yo, you got to buy these curtains so like when we have the cameras in your house, like at least it looks nice. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So nevertheless, Keely and Colby were married and living at the peak of their twin flame journey. But when the webcams were off and the laptop slammed shut, Keely and Colby's union was less than harmonious. During calls, Colby would express that he hated when Keely told him to do basic things like cleaning up after himself. Jeff and Shalila's response was telling Keely to stop being a nagging bitch and for her to do the mirror exercise on herself. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. Oftentimes, issues in connection with one's twin flame are considered internal issues, a problem with the person themselves and not something that comes from exterior factors. To find out what's wrong with oneself, members are told to do what's called the mirror exercise. The mirror exercise is textbook cult shit. It is essentially brainwashing 101, a form of self-brainwashing. Say you have a problem in life, a goal you cannot reach, and something you are mad about. Instead of blaming it on outside factors, this exercise makes you turn your focus inwards. For example, my crush won't go out with me. Wrong. I should be saying, I won't go out with me. Why am I not going out with me? Because I am scared of not being good enough. Why? Because I don't feel like I'm good enough. How can I fix that? By devoting more time and money to my Ascension School courses.
Remember Silence of the Lamb with Buffalo Bill? And he's like, would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. Is that where
the positivity
they got that?
we need.
You need to watch that movie.
I can't lie, this is some stupid shit, but I respect the hustle though.
But you know what's funny though? Is like that whole thing isn't like, it's weird. It's like that weird thing was like not entirely wrong. Where it's like, you know, you do have to look to yourself and like see what's wrong with you and like to get self-confidence, and it just goes way off the deep end.
Yeah.
It just always comes back to you should buy this course.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not. There's been studies done on the mirror exercise. It's not. They call it the mirror exercise, but there is another name for it. They didn't invent it really.
Yeah.
Shalila just introduced it to Jeff and whatever. But there's people who have they've done studies, and it does benefit in some ways. It reduces anxiety. It actually helps some people become more organized and more disciplined to achieve certain goals. Like if you want to save money, if you want to diet, or you want to exercise more, doing these types of exercises actually kind of help you psychologically to go towards things like that.
I do. I mean, I don't speak into a fucking mirror, but you do those kind of like thoughts like, what do I have to do to achieve these things?
Mm-hmm. You ask yourself some questions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then I do thing that I do wrong is I don't spend $3,000 on the twin flames extras. Maybe that's what.
That's one thing you don't fucking do. Let me tell you that.
How do I save
ask
money?
some questions. But then after that, I'm gonna spend $3,000.
Buy a new car first. And
Yeah, get some shit going.
You need some new shoes.
Maybe
boy.
that'll change the vibe.
So this here is from Alice Hines, who wrote the Vanity Fair article, which was very dope, a very awesome article that was a big source for this episode. This is her talking about the mirror exercise. So, quote, rather than blaming others, followers were taught to take responsibility. At times, they shifted around the pronouns of sentences. One woman posted on Facebook that she was having, quote, a hard time clearing the upset around my twin flame filing a restraining order and making false statements in it. She should look within. Quote, you put a restraining order on yourself, a community member wrote on Facebook.
Not wrong. Absolutely
funny,
not
man.
wrong.
Your actions have consequences, believe it or not.
Sometimes those Instagram comments, man, they hit different.
You made false statements. Why did you do that? Once followers address their deep-seated traumas and fears, they'd usually start to feel better. One student told me he was able to stop taking antidepressants and anxiety medicine. Another one healed her fear of flying this way.
These people sound like they need friends.
A lot of the times, that's kind of the thing, right?
And that's why.
Well, the thing is,
joined the group.
a lot of there's a lot of people here who are like, and that's the thing. That's like textbook the target for cults. Lonely people. Or people who had gone through abuse as children, who don't just have like a great support system like that.
It's not even just that. It's also a lot of people who their ideologies are so like, they either don't have any, and they're searching desperately for some, or have just kind of turned the corner into existentialism, and they're like, fuck, I am dying. What is my purpose? And then they start getting so wrapped up in it that they'll take almost anything. It's kind of weird. It's interesting.
And it's interesting because this is something I remember back in the 70s and the golden age of cults, essentially, a huge recruiting area was college campuses. Reason why is because these are a lot of young people who are looking to find a personality. And that's when a lot of them get into politics very hardcore. Some of them get into religion very hardcore, or some sort of ideology like that. And so that is a perfect place. And you still see that today. I mean, a lot of what you see is young men getting into the fucking Andrew Tate Sigma male grind set bullshit. You got other things as well, but you know, that is an example of that too. Right?
I mean, young people I think are like the target audience for sure, because they're searching.
Yeah.
So
It's always
easy
like
to get.
when
They're
you're,
searching for
when
role
you're
models.
after like your 18s and up to like your 23s, like that's when it's like prime targets, because you're still like you're at the very edge of like you're getting out of your party phase, but at the same time you're just getting into like, who am I really?
I think.
And then after that, somebody comes here with a pamphlet telling you, look, your life answers are right here. You're like, oh my god, it's a sign.
I think you're at a point where you have enough like confidence where you're making your own decisions,
Yeah.
but you're dumb enough where like those decisions fucking suck.
Yeah.
So
And you'll truly believe that they're
and you're
great.
in your downloading personality phase too.
Yeah.
It's like I'm Patrick Bateman now. I watched American Psycho. I'm Patrick Bateman now. I watched Drive. I'm Ryan Gosling now.
I am Ryan Gosling.
Speaking of Ryan Gosling, by the way, Ryan Gosling had to put out a restraining order on somebody who thought Ryan Gosling was their twin flame. They're not from this cult, but that did happen.
But still
Nice.
twin flame behavior.
I feel like after the twin flame things, how many like famous actors or influencers had to be like, this motherfucker kept trying to tell me that I was his twin flame and I'm not. Like, fuck off.
I said no, and a lot of them are posers like that. Like, they can't be like me and my twin flame, Sydney Sweeney. Like, duh.
So basically, what you're telling me is Shakira is my twin flame?
Yeah,
Fuck yes.
good shit. Also, two famous twin flames, according to themselves. Do you want to guess?
Is it somebody that like we know, like
Yes.
they're actually
Yes.
influencers or actual celebrities?
Celebrities, actual celebrities.
Jared Leto.
Phoenix.
Huh?
Phoenix? What's his name? The Joker?
Joaquin
I'll
Phoenix?
give it to you.
Oh, it could be Joaquin Phoenix actually. Yeah.
No, he grew
used
up.
to
He
be-
grew up in a
yeah.
cult.
Oh,
but
no,
he
never
was
mind.
raised in a cult,
I
but
think
he was
he
in a
really-
cult.
nothing to do
Yeah,
with
it's
cults
called-
anymore.
The Children of God. Yeah,
That was a fucked up one, right?
a very
There was
fucked up
a
child
fucked up
abuse.
shit,
Sexual abuse, all that.
Oh, that's
no,
why he plays the Joker so well.
Oh my god. Okay. So the twin flames are Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh,
What?
Yeah,
Yo.
they claim they're each other's twin flames.
That's a given. They were like sipping on each other's blood at one point.
Yeah.
So who cares?
You know what? I don't care. I still like Machine Gun Kelly's music.
All right, leave it there. So
Leave it there.
one member who was having a hard time.
Megan Fox is still hot. I don't care. She's my twin flame.
I mean, yeah, fuck it. Fuck it. One member who was having a hard time getting his cats to like him was told to do the mirror exercise. And apparently it worked for him.
Oh, come on, man. My dog doesn't give a fuck about me, and I'm not going to do that shit.
Maybe you should talk to the mirror.
Has the dog done the mirror exercise? Why do I bark?
I'll make him do it.
Why does the mailman come to my house every day? Why do I come to my house every day? Wait, this doesn't work. So the mirror exercise is a tool that isn't exclusive to TFU and does have the capacity of benefiting someone who, for example, is bad with money or lacking discipline in a domain they could thrive in. There are some psychologists who believe it can be used to improve self-awareness, reduce stress, and better align yourself with your goals. But as with any tool, if you put it in the wrong hands, it can be weaponized. But more on that later. So when Keely had complaints to make about her relationship with Colby, she was told to do the mirror exercise, totally absolving Colby as he was the masculine energy. Where this gets more sinister is when it comes to the grounds of sex in a relationship.
Okay, wait, why does it... This is what pisses me off. I can understand for other like types of cults because it's always like kind of like a guy heading it and he just wants as much sexual shit as possible. So he makes it very misogynistic and very sex to me type of thing. But why is this one immediately misogynistic as well? Like, what the fuck?
It's really interesting because what's really funny about these guys is that they claim to be so diverse, so like progressive. They have trans members, and the minute they find out they're trans, like, oh my god, they become celebrities in the thing. They start being used, and like, we want you at every conference. We want you, like, we're so proud
to like
of having
parade
you
type
here.
of
To
thing,
parade
like,
them around, and the same goes for like they claim all of this shit. And they have gay couples in Twin Flames universe, and as well they prop them up like, oh my god, we love these people. But like, as you'll see later, it steers into the weirdly most conservative shit ever. It's fucking crazy. They steer this into insanely, like, they achieve heteronormativity at some point in a really fucked up way.
You prop them up and then you tell them, like, maybe you're into the opposite of what you thought you were into.
Don't worry about it. We'll get to that.
It's actually what happens.
Don't worry about it.
Camp for you, sir.
So yeah, and yeah, so where all this
You
gets
might
more
be gay, but I think your twin flame's a man.
So where this all gets more sinister is when it comes to the grounds of sex in a relationship. Jeff and Shalila are very sex positive, almost to an uncomfortable degree. They often express that plentiful sex is key to maintaining a good twin flame union.
Hey, that's not wrong.
That's
Not
do have a
wrong.
good
They got
point.
that right.
This is why they often convince people to send unsolicited sex and nudes to people. But more on that later.
Not
Maybe
to
just like
not to random motherfuckers, but I'm not against that one.
Unsolicited though, like to random
means you didn't
people?
ask for it.
Not random people. But like,
Okay,
You're out there at a birthday dinner, and then there's like this random couple across the table from you that are just like, they fucking like
Here's a picture of my
airdrop
penis.
you. They airdrop you like them banging like out of fucking nowhere.
that would be wild.
they're just looking at you from across the room like, you, me? Yeah.
Now? Right now?
And he's like, wait, I didn't get it yet. Oh my God.
Z, are you actually from Twin Flames?
No,
Sounds like
no.
he's like, guys, no, but let's hear me out.
Hear me out though. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes, but one of the core beliefs is that every twin flame is a binary exchange of energies, the masculine divine and the feminine divine. And one of the principles they tout frequently in their courses is that the divine feminine must be ready and willing to respond in synchronicity to the masculine divine's sexual advances.
Too many
but, like,
divines in this freaking thing.
Yeah, but I got
This is what
lost.
I'm not
Simplify.
understanding.
Please, the fucking man.
Okay, so that is
Like-
basically it is you have an energy, a masculine energy.
Yeah.
We'll make this simple, right? Two a guy and a woman in a
Do it down for
relationship,
us, please.
male female
Make your
relationship.
man bust a
the,
nut.
the female is the
you go.
feminine. God damn it, the female is the feminine
Give
energy.
him the hot too.
I want to come.
There you go. Huck too.
When he leaves the house, you gotta give him the hot too.
Okay.
Let him.
The thing is, okay, the female has the sexual feminine energy, which is they call the feminine divine, but it's the same fucking thing. And then the man has the masculine divine energy.
In today's time.
Yeah. But what they're saying basically is that, long story short, to make this in simple terms, women must be willing to have sex whenever their guy wants to have sex.
Shit.
But what if they're in a lesbian relationship?
Hey,
This is what I'm
man.
trying to understand.
You know?
I don't know.
Don't ask these questions, Priscilla.
This
Do
is
they
what we-
do they like roll a dice? They're like, okay, so it's like a gay relationship. So what do we do? It's like, okay, so
Oh, we'll talk about
heads or
that.
tails.
No, you roll. If you roll a 3, we bang.
We'll get to all of that soon.
that was
But
some
yeah.
bars though.
And so
This is some motherfucking bars.
So Colby,
Colby.
Colby takes this as a sign that he is entitled to have sex with Keely whenever he wants.
You see, they always got to take it to the extreme.
And when Keely expresses that she is not always willing to respond to Colby's demands, she is told to do the mirror exercise.
Oh, you see, this is where you lose me, man.
Why don't I want to have sex with him? Because I don't want to have sex with me.
Oh my.
See, psychologically, what that does? That's a fucking problem, right? That's when this starts to become really fucked up and dangerous.
A little self-hate.
And I couldn't get this clip. It was in Netflix's possession, but in one of the courses, Jeff describes a really fucked up story where he's like, Shalila was changing and I was in the mood, so I walked up to her and she was like, "No, stop!" And he's like mocking her voice and she's giggling. And he's like, then I just pushed her on the bed. I went on top of her and I kept kissing her. And then, we had sex. We made out.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really fucking weird.
That's the worst foreplay imaginable.
Right?
Go up to the mirror and tell yourself,
Girl,
you do
go
wanna
up to
have
the
sex with
goddamn
me.
mirror. Yeah.
I wonder how many fucking mirrors he has in his house. He's just like, he wants to bang in the kitchen. He's like, the mirror.
She's just so pissed off. Like, oh, where the fuck's the mirror right now?
He's got a mirror on his fridge, like just a magnet, like a magnet mirror, just in case.
House full of mirrors.
Another one of the unwritten principles of Twin Flames universe is having an utter disregard for boundaries, something that Jeff and Shalila often support. In a lot of these cases, a member's supposed twin flame is an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, or somebody who has already rejected the advances of the member.
The restraining order the guy got earlier.
Yeah.
That should be the good indicator on how far you should go.
Sometimes members are convinced that their twin flame is a person who is already married with children and living in a completely different state.
I mean,
And you'll see them in their videos like, it's funny because they start them out like, we just want to say that we respect the sanctity of marriage. We respect the institution of marriage. We're married ourselves. But like marriage, doesn't mean anything. They're your twin flames. This is bigger than that. Like
Somebody in the group randomly thinks that like one of these two are their twin flame.
that would be fucking awesome. I would have to bring in. I'm convinced Jeff is my twin flame.
Be like, what the fuck? What do I do? Like,
He's actually a divine feminine. He doesn't know, and I'm a divine masculine.
Shalilo, please. Drop that bum.
I need your bum.
Yo.
You're weirdly sexy.
So regardless, Jeff and Shalila will often induce members to aggressively pursue these relationships by way of sending inappropriate texts, nudes, and engaging in what is 100% stalking behavior. They justify this in their logic by saying that twin flames carry opposing energies. One is a chaser and another one is a runner.
A runner.
This is literally what they say.
That's a really good way to put it.
One's a chaser and one's a runner.
They said runner, not even like it's kind of like a push and pull.
I've heard the I've heard the reacher and the settler thing, but not the fucking runner and the chaser.
both full sprint.
One of you is Laurie Strode and the other one is Michael Myers. And they explain away the running part as something that twin flames are doing to express love. Your twin flame is running from you because he loves you so much, he wants you to look inwards and find what's wrong with yourself and fix it.
Nah, there's nothing funny to say. It's just fucked up, yo. That's not okay.
Why is my twin flame running from me? Why am I running from me?
She's scared of you, bro.
So in footage obtained by Netflix, the Netflix documentary, Escaping Twin Flames, Jeff is heard saying on a call, "None of it fucking matters because you're his twin flame and this is your union. This trumps everything. This is what we've been telling you since day one. All the bullshit, all the nonsense, all the fuckery, all the personal protection orders, ex-girlfriends, wives, husbands, marriage, kids, all those things are trumped by this one simple thing. Your twin flame union."
So that girl I saw on the bus the other day, we made like short eye contact. I'm right. She's my twin flame.
She's your twin flame, yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't matter
I
if she
should
has a
pursue her.
boyfriend. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Now you got to
Don't
follow her
matter.
home and find out where she lives. So
Oh, I
that you
already
can
did.
find the Instagram.
So members who are already dancing along the borders of harassment and full-on stalking can express concerns about having repercussions against them, but Jeff and Shalila will simply meet those concerns with disappointment and insults, telling them they're not trying hard enough and that they're not committed enough.
That's one thing I really like about cults, when they're just like, bro, just stop being a pussy and like,
You know
full
what's
on.
really funny is that there's a word for it.
What?
Jeff calls these people twin flames pussies. Twin flame pussies. You're being a twin flame pussy right now. Like there's a lot of times where he's caught saying that.
Okay.
You fucking twin flame pussy.
It's not even catchy.
It's not. It's
No,
so
it's
not
not.
catchy. So here's another one from the Netflix documentary. This is a dialogue between two people. So this is Jeff. You can say something like, let's let our bodies do the talking, or let's prepare the shower together. He's telling her, coaching her on what to text. The woman replies, I don't want to shock him with complete. He interrupts saying, he's a guy. He wants to get laid. Connect with his fucking sex drive. Jesus Christ.
What a coach.
What a coach.
Even if it was just about sex, saying let's let our bodies do the talking is like, what are you from the 80s? Like, what the fuck is this pickup line?
Girl, I would drink a tub of your bath water.
I just picture them like both like meeting in a park and they're just like bumping and grinding and shit. They're just like both like getting closer and closer, just bumping and grinding.
They're
like,
they're like the personification of, you know, those Caribbean dance parties and shit where the guy's just like fucking pile driving. The woman's like
with clothes on.
with clothes on. It's not grinding anymore. He's literally piled. These are wrestling moves. He's fucking banging
He's like
her.
full on like dolphin diving on.
It's like sometimes they go up on a tree. The tree fucking, the branch breaks and they fall
What
off.
the fuck are those?
It's insane. It's awesome. So
Nick's booking a ticket to the Caribbean. Find out.
here's another case, the case of Elle. In 2017, a woman named Elle seeked out the advice of Jeff and Shalila. Elle had been living out of her car and sometimes sleeping in a storage unit after suffering a car crash that left her with arachnoiditis, which is a real thing.
I'll really catch those L's.
So it's an inflammatory spinal disease that causes chronic and sharp back pain, as well as complications with limbs and bowel functions. It's a shitty like thing to have. She joined TFU and eventually signed up for a private one-on-one classes with Jeff and Shalila, which costs $200 per session. She had accessed these courses by using the free internet at coffee shops. These sessions led to Jeff and Shalila determining that her ex-boyfriend was her twin flame and that not being with him was the root of her pain.
Yes. I like these guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's very entertaining. Obviously.
Divine healer.
She had been with this guy for 2 years before her accident. Jeff encouraged her to pester her ex by text, social media, phone calls, and even going as far as telling her to go to his place and confront him. Elle was also groomed into becoming a coach. In her mind, everything was going well. She had her own place again, and she was getting the spiritual guidance she thought she needed, but she was living in a blur. Throughout the rest of 2017 and 2018, Elle became more and more secluded, only reserving time for Jeff and Shalila. And they started playing her psychiatric mumbo jumbo, telling her that the pain she was feeling was psychological and that it was being caused by her breakup. Elle was told to continue pursuing her ex-boyfriend, and it escalated to a point where he had to get a restraining order on her. Elle would make up excuses to end up at his place, tricking his roommate into letting her in, and at one point she even followed her ex all the way to Berlin. They were from San Francisco.
That's fucking wild.
So where's she getting the money?
I know, it's fucking weird.
It's
She's like,
always like broke people, like super broke, and like she actually has like an even more of an excuse of being broke because she has like medical expenses. Yeah. And then I'm like, where are you getting the money for this?
I mean, tell you, credit card companies love twin flames.
I mean, she is getting like some sort of commission from being a coach, but I mean, I don't know. It's not a crazy amount either, but you know.
Can you be a coach if you don't have a twin flame?
Oh yeah, it's really funny actually.
That should be a requirement.
Yeah, we should. No. It's you would think that it's a requirement, but I could show you their fucking website. Some of them are literally some of the people who are engaged with like in stalking situations, and they're coaches. They have restraining orders straight up put on them, but they're still coaches here. This guy, I'm not going to say his name, but this guy was stalking somebody. This is also the guy who had the problem with his cats. So he's a bald dude with a weird patchy beard.
What the fuck is HTFU?
There's some cuties in here.
Hold up, Twin Flames University.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Hall of Twin Flames University.
But yeah, there's some that are single. Yo, there's some that are like genuinely cute at some point, and it's like, yo, what are you doing here? You could like,
guys, I'm about
you're
to
not
join.
like this things. Some of these people are like, yo, you're
They
not.
all look like school pictures where they force you to smile.
By the way, this was the
Not join
person.
Nick, or else they will. When you break up with them, they will stalk you.
Yo, my Tinder's getting a little dry, so I might just.
This was the person who contacted me. By the way, this was my coach. So, interviewed by the Wondery podcast, Elle's ex-boyfriend describes one encounter. He says that he was dancing with a woman at the club when Elle came up to both of them and stood inches away from him and his dancing partner. Not knowing what to make of the situation, the woman tried offering Elle a sip from her water bottle, but Elle smacked it out of her hands. Wanting to apologize for Elle's behavior, the ex went to the bar to get his dancing partner another bottle. At the bar, Elle approached her ex and told him the woman he was dancing with had chlamydia. Upon being served the papers for the restraining order, Elle tried to stop it by giving her ex a laptop with a login for a Twin Flames universe account. She was like, I know what you're here for, but look at this laptop.
Did you keep the laptop?
I don't think so.
It's a good deal.
Sell it to some Ugandans. So she violated the restraining order multiple times, as was suggested by Jeff and Shalila, even taking it as far as showing up at her ex-boyfriend's apartment one night. Her family tried reaching out, but to no avail. Elle was in complete denial, later rationalizing that she assumed cults were physical places you had to be at to be taken advantage of. How could she be joining a cult via the internet? Jeff and Shalila continued to encourage her behavior. She sent them suggestive photos, emails, texts, frequent voice messages, including one saying, quote, "The only restraints I need are in the bedroom."
Damn.
This is after the restraining order, by the way.
I like her.
Yeah, some would like it. Honestly, I'd understand, but
Here's the
that'd be
next.
fucking wild.
But imagine she's there. She's like, "Oh hi, you're the only one that could cure me."
Bitch, you
Here's-
follow me all the way to Berlin.
Yo,
Crazy bitch.
you out there on the beach?
You don't even
pulling up.
speak German. So, and here's another message she left. Quote, "The cops are not going to protect you. They're not God. Only God can protect you."
Oh, that's no.
That one's not sexy,
That's
is
a little,
it?
that's a
As
little
soon
too
as you
far.
bring God into shit,
That's just
It's all
scary.
right then. That's some shit you tell them like before they go into battle and they're about to die.
What protection do I need, man?
Shit, bro. That sounds like no low key. It has the vibes of Tupac lyrics, you know. Only God can protect you. So after a year of being in TFU, Elle was kicked out of her apartment. On her 30th birthday, she went out clubbing one night and happened to run into her ex-boyfriend. She claims that it was completely by coincidence. Her ex,
Claimed.
yeah, that's what I gotta say.
keyword claimed.
Claimed.
Allegedly.
Her ex contacted the police, who arrived immediately and arrested her at the club. She spent 18 days in jail, unable to post bail because at this point, TFU had advised her to cut all contact with her family. She called her ex, who obviously did not pick up. So eventually, her family did pay the $25,000 bailout. They paid it out of their retirement savings.
Oh no.
If I had like a daughter that was like this unhinged, like to the point where I can't even help her in that way, and she gets jailed, the last thing I'm doing is bailing her out. I'm like, maybe you need this. Like, I know jail can be like pretty frightening.
Your mom
and
has the
there's some
same
fucked up
policy,
shit.
doesn't she?
My
That's
own
your
mom?
mom's policy too, right?
No, well, like my mom, the second she says, like, if I even hear you guys are in jail for whatever reason, other than like actual like self-defense, she's like, I'm not showing up. Actually, you don't know me. I don't know you. And this is why we have different last names.
God damn. See, there's that bias in there. I'm not talking to police. The fuck?
Knowing this crazy lady, she would fucking break out and be like, show up at your crib, be like, you didn't answer my calls. What happened?
But she said 18 days?
18 days, yep.
Yo, that's fine. That's not that bad.
You chilling.
Let her rot a little.
She spent it doing the mirror exercise, basically. Oh, and she started trying to recruit people in jail
Fuck
for
yes.
Twin Flames.
Damn,
Fuck
working
yes.
overtime.
Working overtime. I'm like, call Jeff.
That's what you call dedication. I'm recruiting from jail, motherfucker.
Jeff, I know this is a collect call. Listen, do you know how you saying we didn't have enough members? Well, listen to this. It's a bunch of women doing their fucking mirror exercise.
I got 5 ex-crackheads ready to join. Ready to get their life together, find their twin flame.
Sadly,
No,
they won't
that's
be able to
love.
join the Zoom call.
Why can't I stop doing crack? Why can't it don't work? So Elle was now facing charges for stalking and violating a restraining order, which was punishable with up to 2 years in prison. And upon her return to her twin flame community, Jeff almost immediately took to mocking Elle and desperately trying to separate himself from Elle's actions. Quote, "Did you love yourself all the way along? Yeah. Then is that not an act of bravery and courage? It gives me enormous trust in you, where before it I had none. It gives me enormous faith in you." They congratulated her.
So she a coach, but I never trusted you, bitch.
You had the vibes of a twin
never
flame
believed
pussy,
in you.
but now I
Exactly.
know
I was praying for your downfall.
you've got the strength of a rock hard twin flames cock.
Do you have the picture?
Why do you want to do this to yourself?
I know, but it's do it.
Want to put a face to the name?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Again, I feel like there's no like hideous people.
Well, like you got to think about it. Listen, she had just gotten into a fucking life-altering accident,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure that is what brought an end to her relationship because she was living with the guy for 2 years.
Okay.
Suddenly, she had this accident that, like, you know, kind of made her semi-handicapped in a way, or
Yeah.
semi just like very impaired for a while, and so you know that becomes a different situation that some people don't sign up for. They check out, and you know that fucked her up basically. You know, so she was a prime target for this exact game that Jeff and Shapoopy are playing.
John joined
No,
that
'cause-
chat, and now he's coming here doing this podcast, but he's actually just here to recruit Nick.
No, because my
like, there
vision
was hot chicks.
of the people, because already like you have the main people they're like kind of weird looking, I find, and then you have all these people that join, and I assume they would be like, how to say, like
Ugly as fuck.
ugly as fuck. Yeah, I don't want to.
Try to say it nicely, but
But but you always think the people that get recruited
Not
are like
conventionally attractive.
would be less attractive than the people
weirdly
recruited.
sexy. There you go. Weirdly.
Nick has that Disney logic. He's like, the villains are ugly.
Big nose,
Heroes are pretty.
long face.
Makes
No,
no
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
But then these people don't look that desperate. Like it's clearly just like low IQ and desperation.
Yeah, so Elle is not the only person in the Twin Flames universe who has danced around a restraining order. In fact, it is quite common for members of the group to violate restraining orders in the pursuit of their twin flames.
You know, like there's just like a billboard of like restraining order, like in the chat, like who got this one? It's like, that's me.
God damn it.
Just every time the count goes up of how many restraining orders you can get.
Every violation, you get a little star.
Yeah. They give you like $100 bonus. Oh wait, $111.
Yes, that's keeping up with logic. So members were supposed to be, quote, honey badgers of love, as Jeff put it.
Relentless.
So in footage from a group session obtained by the Amazon Prime documentary, Jeff can be heard telling a woman, quote, show up at his motherfucking door, bust it down, show up every day to his house and drag him over to yours. Start grabbing his stuff and putting it in your house. That's what he wants.
Shit.
So breaking and entering, stealing. And then
This is
also
just- theft.
you pretend to be law enforcement. You go there with a fucking hammer and you fucking take down his door.
Literally just be like, get a job doing repo and just
Repo.
like,
this
I'm
shit.
repossessing this shit and I'm repossessing your heart. Thank you. So for a time, their Facebook forum was flooded with posts pleading for advice on how to deal with the fact that people's twin flames were filing restraining orders against them. This is from the Facebook group that I found myself literally just recently. So quote, thoughts on this one. Still having a hard time clearing the upset about my twin flame filing a restraining order and making false statements in it. I'm sure some of this is upheaval, but at this point, he's just sort of continuing to do things that I always thought were not things he would do. I'm choosing peace as best as I can, but at some point, I'm just not seeing how God is speaking or moving through him.
There's one little flaw in his logic of like chasing like relentlessly. For his business idea. For his business, it's a bad idea. Because what if somebody looks at this, like they look at the coach list, right? And they're like, no, this coach is my twin flame, right? Now they're going to be trying to get in, like they're already paid subscribers, you know what I mean? Now they're going to be trying to get like with a coach, like relentlessly or whatever. But then it's like, you're not getting new members. You're just going, you know, like you're not increasing the amount of money you're
No, but
getting.
I think they have to confirm with you who your twin flame is.
Oh, they have to tell you who
Yeah,
you're
because
doing?
they're like-
Jeff and Shazam tell you.
Yeah.
So it's never going to be inside.
No, they're your preachers. They lead your every thought.
They want to make sure that you increase business.
Yeah.
So here's another Facebook one. So my twin flame finally spoke up after 2 months of silence, told me to leave her alone and stop showing her love, said her silence should make it clear she isn't interested as well as blocking me, but I keep getting unblocked. She says she isn't unblocking me. I take it as a sign of divine power that is unblocking me. Said she would get a restraining order if I lived closer. Said I was mentally unstable. Lol. Says her boyfriend keeps telling her to tell me to leave her alone. He is threatened and intimidated by me and scared because he knows he is going to lose her to me. My intuition says it is him telling her and making her block me on Facebook. He didn't know I was still messaging her and showing her love until I commented on a post of hers. And they got into an argument over me still maintaining a presence in her life. He won't confront me because my light shines too bright. I exposed his true self and he wasn't happy about that. He is an atheist and is hiding his true self from my twin and she can't see it. I ain't afraid or scared because God trumps all and has my back. She is mad she's attracted to me and loves me. I'm too handsome and sexy, lol. Projecting herself, going to mirror it. I'll keep showing unconditional love and won't stop. TFAS and me is proving fruitful.
This man is born too late for the Crusades. It would have been perfect.
God damn it. Eventually, Jeff and ShamWow realized they were playing with fire by recommending
That was all perfect. Wow.
Yeah. Realized they were playing. Well, the ShamWow guy did something fucked up to his twin flame. We won't talk about that.
That's neither here or there.
Eventually, Jeff and ShamWow realized they were playing with fire by recommending that people stalk their twin flames and started coming up with a new strategy. Getting people from the outside to join such an intense cult is not an easy endeavor. People need to be eased into it. They determined that it would be much easier to convince two people who were already a part of the culture that they were meant for each other.
My bad. It's like I'm reading the script, but I'm not there.
Sometime around 2019, they introduced the idea of false twin flames. Turns out, all those people who had been failing miserably with their crushes were actually failing because they were pursuing false twin flames. And that only through what Jeff and Shalila called channeling would they be able to find their true twin flame. So this is the case of Marlene Griffin. This is actually Keely's sister. Keely had not only brought Colby into the twin flames universe, but she had also influenced her 19-year-old sister Marlene to join as well.
Nice.
Both Keely and Marlene had grown up in a rough environment, and that sort of trauma transpired throughout their lives and affected their relationships. So for Marlene, seeing Keely do so well in TFU, it felt like an actual glimpse of hope. Marlene had been in the group for a couple of months and was having trouble even identifying anybody who could possibly fit the role of her twin flame. Enter 30-year-old Joshua, who also recently joined TFU and discovered Marlene's Facebook profile.
Wait a minute. How old is she again?
She's 19.
Okay.
So 30-year-old Joshua had discovered Marlene's Facebook profile by lurking in TFU's open forum group. He started messaging her, convinced they were twin flames. Marlene was not fully with it. She felt he was much too old, she was not physically attracted to him, nor was wooed by the intensity of his advances. He eventually started professing his love for her by tagging her in public posts on the group's wall. You know, like that fucking status block there?
Yeah.
You know, the smiling emoji's like, I love you. Being Keely's sister, Marlene was also invited to attend a TFU workshop in Toronto. At the workshop, Marlene was directly called out for not having found her twin flame. She was given a microphone while Jeff and Shalila were on stage with their microphones, and they asked her if she was sure there wasn't anybody on her mind. They eventually squeezed the name Joshua out of Marlene, citing the many public posts that she was tagged in as examples. Marlene was pressured to admit that Joshua was her twin flame.
Poor lady. And she's like, it's like a arranged marriage at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. She was then forced to read out the lyrics to a song Joshua had attached to a post he tagged her on. The song was Incomparable by the band Dead by April, a very cringy emo track. Here's an excerpt of the lyrics. No hurricane can move me. Earthquakes can't shake me. I will always stand my ground. Always be around. No snowstorm can freeze me. Black holes can't take me. I will always stand my ground. Always be around.
Bars.
There's nothing. There's nothing more degrading though than like being forced.
She had to read these out loud, by the way.
I just really like the idea of like Ziab being there, and after she's reading it, like she's in tears, being like, "Oh God, I signed myself of the," and it's just him being like, "Bars,
boy." And no, this is the worst part. She's reading them, and everybody's like, "Yay!" clapping, and she's crying. It's just like these tears of horror. Like after their pairing was admitted, Marlene and Joshua now had to figure out how to be together. A challenge made much more difficult by the fact that Joshua had just gotten out of prison for drug possession and was still on parole.
Oh my.
Easy, just set him up. Send him back to prison.
Where did you get that syringe?
Whoa, husband, what is this? Hey, yo.
Officer, you're here? That's kind of weird.
Honestly, if I was like her friend at the time and I knew that she was getting into this and there was, no way to help her, I would start planting drugs in the house and be like, look, he brought drugs and like get him back to prison.
Jeff and Shalila chastised Marlene for being too lazy and Twin Flame's pussy and pressured her into moving to Utah with him.
Oh my.
Now,
Utah out of all places.
Toronto to Utah?
Yeah. Now living with Joshua, Marlene also discovers that Joshua is schizoaffective, which is sort of a mix of schizophrenia and bipolar disorder.
Wow.
So by herself in a stage she's probably never been with before.
A 19-year-old girl living with a 30-year-old man with fucking schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, basically.
Nice. And a good access to drugs.
Yes. Joshua terrorizes Marlene with fits of rage and manic episodes. And when Marlene goes to Jeff for advice, Jeff hosts a live YouTube therapy session with Marlene in which he blames most of it on her inability to provide a nurturing, loving environment for Joshua. Despite all the turmoil, couples like Marlene and Joshua were still pressured into making happy posts on social media. Marlene is not the only TFU member to be condemned to a mismatched twin flame union. In December of 2019, Jeff and Shang Tsung held what they called a miracle event, a major channeling of 20 twin flame pairings in one session.
A 20 for 1. Let's go, baby.
It's like the lottery, baby. So 20 matches were made between members of TFU. The only issue with that is that the ratio of men and women in the group was very off balance.
No.
With there being much more women than men. At that time, 80% of the membership was women. This miracle event revealed many pairings between two women, regardless of whether they were gay or not.
That's what he was saying when he was on one of these videos that John sent us. He was like, the math, trust me, the math will add up. The math will add
It's
up.
Terrence Howard math.
It's the frogs. The frogs change sex.
1 plus, what's his fucking?
1 times 1 equals 2.
There you go. So this was met with controversy within the group. A lot of women were still convinced that they were heterosexual and that their initial twin flames were legit. So Jeff and Shalila met these concerns with MAP. MAP stands for Mind Alignment Process, which is described in one of the documentaries as, quote, the mirror exercise on steroids.
Why do I not want to fuck another man?
Yeah, exactly. So this is like, it's a callback to one of Jeff's first business ventures, healing through spirituality. MAP claims to help people get rid of trauma and PTSD in only 12 weeks.
I had a cokehead roommate that will get along with this guy.
One of their claims on the website is that 99% of MAP recipients experience a significant decrease in flashbacks after 12 weeks. After 1 year, MAP completely resolved trauma symptoms in 91% of cases.
Because they're taking it on their significant other.
Jeff, have you considered beating your wife? That's a fucked up joke. Sorry.
That's a really fucked up one.
Jeff introduced, check the statistics, that happens. It's a problem. Jeff introduced MAP to a woman named Christine Emmerich, a retired U.S. Army lieutenant colonel. Together, they developed MAP into a brainwashing machine. During the process, a MAP practitioner will gain knowledge of a person's childhood trauma and PTSD, and then supposedly heal that trauma through intense meditation. This process is priced at $3,900. Right? And so you know that conversation at the beginning where coaches are getting all your info and everything?
Yeah.
All that info you're giving them is being sent to these folks for whenever, if they ever want to use this on you. Oh, how did they magically know like where to steer me psychologically? Well, it's because you technically told everything. Yeah. What they don't tell people is that within these meditative states, Jeff and Christine discovered something much more dangerous. The ability to plant memories that never happened.
Now this is Blade Runner territory.
This is getting into dystopian territory. Like, both documentaries show numerous testimonies of members who had false memories of sexual abuse planted on them in order to separate them from their families.
Jeez.
That's like hypnosis, no?
Yes.
Fuck
Basically, it's hypnosis. And this feature came in handy when it came time to enforce the principle of masculine and feminine energy, because Jeff and Shao Kahn still stuck to the idea that only masculine, I mean, using Mortal Kombat names now, they still stuck to the idea that only masculine and feminine energies could be twin flames. Feminine and feminine does not work.
holy, imagine the people who just came out of the 20, like the 20 matchup. They're like, you made me a fucking lesbian. And then they're like, well, you know what? 2 weeks later, it's like, nah, there's an update. It's not true.
After all this to be like, shit, I guess I like girls
Wait.
now. Actually, no. Feminine and feminine energy just doesn't work. So
They're like, what the fuck, man? I was a lesbian for 2 months.
Guys. iOS, the new iOS is about to drop. That's why. So, despite a lot of the members who were paired in the mass channeling session identifying as women, Jeff and Shalila started to tell them that the next step was to start identifying as males in order to fulfill the role of the masculine divine.
Wild.
Here
And then
we
you become
go.
a poster child of the Facebook group.
So that's how they got the trans members.
No, they had some trans members initially too.
Now, wait, do they get a Patreon, though?
They have a Patreon.
A Patreon just for transition?
I don't know. In some cases, one heterosexual woman is asked to transition into a man in order to be with another heterosexual woman. For the members who did not accept their designated roles, they were recommended to try the mind alignment process, in which they would be converted into thinking they had always identified as men. This has escalated to some members going as far as getting top surgeries, which are double mastectomies. So breast removal.
Oh no.
So I love the idea. They're like, oh man, all these queers are going to turn other queers weird. But then it's just like a straight couple being like, actually, we decide who gets to be fucking.
But like, this is what I was saying earlier, where like they've achieved heteronormativity through the most weird and fucked up way. Now everybody is quote unquote normal again. Like,
Imagine they're just there on a Zoom call and they're like, there's like they make a lesbian couple. Then one of them's like, let's say the one on the left is like, yeah, I want to transition. They're like, no, not you. You have to transition. It's the only way we'll pay for it.
some are also invited to pay for what TFU calls, quote, spiritual boot camp, in which they get to stay over at Jeff and Shalila's $850,000 house outside of Michigan and do their chores in exchange for little droplets of spiritual knowledge.
So I pay you to do your chores, basically.
Yes. Come over
Yep.
to my house.
What an amazing hustle.
And you know what they tell you?
You don't understand. They get spiritual like knowledge out of this. Don't you understand? It's like by folding the
No,
laundry.
but I'm taking it from the angle of Jeff. Somebody's paying me money to do my chores. That's kind of crazy.
Clean the
pretty
house
good.
and everything.
It's pretty good swindle.
Your maids pay you. I mean, that's how you innovate. man.
That's basically what it is.
I mean, that's how you
Somebody
innovate.
just like mopped your floors and everything, and then you just hit them with like, wipe your ass twice a day. Thanks. Bye. Have a good day.
They cook you like a 4-course meal.
Chakra be with
just
you,
say,
whatever.
You just say you're a twin flame pussy.
Just clean your room.
Yep. You know, just wanted to say that the way you diced the onions, this very twin flame pussy of you. I actually like them. Yeah, a little thinner than that. Sorry. Yeah,
Try
thanks.
transitioning.
Go touch the crystal 5 times. I don't know. Fuck off. So you guys saw the house tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that fucking
Parts of
house.
it.
That there's that one. You didn't see the house tour, but there's like he's just like, this is my pool. And he's like, that's my car.
It's the most uncharismatic viewing of a house. That's, by the way, completely fucking empty. Almost. There's not much in there.
No, it's like you just bought it.
Yeah, it's really empty.
There's no decor. There's like those cheap tables you would have like at a picnic.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Like gray
tables
tables?
set up in rooms.
I think at that point they were just moving in. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. He points at a TV at some point and he's like, that's a 58-inch TV. I could buy 100 of those a day if I wanted to.
But it's like with that amount of charisma, just like
Yeah, it's just
that's
like,
what that is.
all right, yeah.
This is a pool right there.
I got a
Keeps telling you,
Porsche.
like, I'm telling you, being a coach, the math adds up. Keeps telling you how much it's worth it, and he's like, look at this. It's like this Airbnb I booked for a week. Like,
They got this like one video where Jeff is like talking about Shalila and he's like, well, it's not every day that you get to learn how to drive in a Porsche. And he's like, yeah, I got to drive a Porsche. It was just fucking goofy. Alice Hines from Vanity Fair, she visited them, went to stay for them for a couple of days
yeah.
to write her article. This is what Shalia told her about her crystals, her stupid crystals that cost $11,000. So I get feelings and thoughts communicated back to me from the crystal. And this is how I found out that this crystal is a female and that one's a male. Okay, so now we're going to another case. The case of Anne and Katrina. Anne and Katrina started out as platonic friends, but they had always felt a strong connection to each other. They discussed coming out to their families, but ended up not doing it and going their separate ways, both getting into heterosexual marriages and starting families. After years of separation, Anne and Katrina rekindled their flame and decided to leave their marriages, coming out to their families and finally starting the rest of their lives together. Unfortunately, Anne and Katrina had a third wheel in their reunion, Twin Flames universe. Jeff and Shazam took a liking to Anne and Katrina, and they propped them up as shining examples of not only TFU's success, but as a statement to TFU's acceptance of the LGBTQ community. This was something they did often if they found out a member was trans or non-binary. They would let the whole world know how proud they were of having them there. Anne and Katrina were encouraged to become coaches, and all was going well until Jeff and Shalila needed somebody to be the success story for their gender conversion pairings. They started pressuring Anne towards admitting that she was a man. Anne was skeptical of the whole thing but obliged anyways. She cut her hair short and changed the way she dressed, but none of it did anything to dissolve the way she felt. And then Jeff started imposing that Anne changed her name to a more masculine name. Do you guys want to guess? Because Jeff decided to give her the name. What name do you think Jeff came up with all his creativity?
Frank.
Her name was Anne, by the way.
Her name is Anne.
Yeah.
Anthony.
Anthony, yeah.
Antoine.
Those are you guys locking your bets? You want to say one?
Shaquille O'Neal.
Jeff, in one call, he's just like, you know what would be a good name for you? Dan. Dan the man. And he literally says, Dan the man.
Fuck.
Fucking killed it, man. I mean, that's creative. I'll give you that much.
And she's like, and she's literally on that call like, no, I kind of just want to keep being Anne. He's like, Anne the man. That sounds so fucking weird. And he's like, I've never heard of a man named Anne. Like, it's not masculine enough. And he would be so passive aggressive and heavy fucking aggressive and petty as fuck. Every time she join a call and get to speak, he's like, oh, Anne the man's here. What's up? He would literally be like that. Like, it's Anne the man.
No, I feel like you could do something like that.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh, here's Anne the man.
Fucking Anne the man, bro. So these are texts that Jeff was texting to Anne and Katrina.
But so do these people figure it out at this point?
Figure what out?
I mean,
The scam?
there's bullshit. I feel like if you're refusing to change,
Yeah.
This
This is one, like, in cults in general, right? It's a series of allowances like that the people will give you, right? You do one thing, you take it one step further, and if nobody reacts crazily, nobody leaves, then you realize I can go this far. Then you're gonna try going even further and further. And so Jeff is now starting to give himself like massive amounts of allowances. Now.
Yeah.
This is like a huge allowance. This is a huge step, and so he's seeing like this is gonna have some people walk off.
Yeah.
But it will kind of strengthen. Well, not strengthen. He thinks that it'll strengthen him. But it actually slowly chips away at the people who are also staying too.
Yeah.
You know? So here are texts that he sent Anne and Katrina, by the way. So this is Jeff. Change Anne's name immediately. It's time. He's a guy. Take a guy's name and a guy's pronoun, or I will need to put someone else in charge of sales who does respect my work. Then again, another day. Not sure why you and your man have not decided to handle the gender identity issue. There is literally no logical reason not to do so immediately. Another text, another day. You guys look dumb as fuck hiding behind the lies still. Because you haven't changed your name yet, everybody thinks you are either weak, unable to change, or in stark disagreement with me.
Ooh, disagreement.
He's a fucking twerp. He's like,
Why won't you do what I say?
Anne and Katrina chose to stop complying and walked out of the group.
Fuck yes.
First ones.
Let's go.
Finally a happy story.
Jeff and Shawarma.
See strong, independent women right there.
Thank God for that, because imagine like going through your whole life, you know, and finally realizing like, you know what? No, I'm actually into girls and I do like that woman. You finally get through all the bullshit of coming out and everything. And then you jump into this bullshit. Like, that's crazy. I'm glad they got the fuck out.
Jeff and Shawarma took to calling them assholes publicly in the Facebook group and telling everybody who was coached by Anne and Katrina to demand full refunds.
From them?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, no, it's fucked.
Fucking assholes. Speaking of confusing identities, in late 2019, Jeff finally graduated to the next level of cult cliches. On top of both him and his wife changing their last name to Divine, Jeff also proclaimed that he was the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
If there isn't a bigger red flag than that, like once you see that, you gotta leave. You just say, okay, what the fuck did I get into?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Starts calling himself divine and then also claims to be Jesus.
You know, like the fuck.
That's when you walk. That's,
So, yeah.
That's well,
exactly-
I mean, you should have walked a long time.
That is the-
there's like 1,000 red flags, but like, oh my gosh, if there was one that like, okay, I gotta
Because when you're in the cult, right? Those signs are those are the ones that most cults. That's the biggest thing, right? That's the one that when that happens, people walk off because
It's
then
the
it's like
end.
that's the number one. Like, oh, I'm in a cult.
Yeah.
We had class, we had ethics classes, and that was like, I'll never forget those rules. I think those stuck with me forever. It was like, how to know if you're in a cult. Number one, do you have to give money to be in it? That's like a sign. Number one, if it's like a spiritual group or whatever. Number two, are you allowed to talk to people outside of it?
Yeah.
And number three, do you worship an actual physical person at the place that you go to? Those are the three. If those three boxes check, you're in a cult. Like,
Yeah.
in fact, he claimed that he is the Master Christ. So
Super Christ. On fucking
Turbo
roids.
Christ. Like,
He's like Super Saiyan Christ.
This dude can double jump on water and everything.
his name was now Jeff Ender Divine Master Christ.
Fuck yes.
Yo, he turns water into vodka.
Imagine the business card. He kept Ender. Imagine the business card is probably like flames. Like the fucking t-shirts back in the early 2000s. Like that's what it is. Jeff Ender Divine Master Christ.
It's
like
a
a
spiky
fucking,
Johnny test on it.
That's like a fucking Tekken character.
Yeah. Fucking great.
But then you get his picture, like his face, and you're like, nah, bro, you ain't it.
That's why he's got the long hair when I think about it.
Yep. So this is the video where they opened up and told everybody that they were the Master Christ.
I remember it was the other night where discussing Jeff's hair, I got like this really insane download, and I heard like
download
speak to me in like a very like clear as day voice, like the images of Jesus is the image of Jeff. That's the prophecy you've been looking for. It is not written. It is in visual format. And I'm like, oh my God, of course. And then it's like, this makes sense, like why I was so crazy about art and symbols and all this stuff and, the Mayan calendar. And so anyway, I was like, oh, that makes sense because it doesn't feel like Jesus. It doesn't look like Jesus. I know Jesus, and I know like he never comes to me in the traditional image.
I met him at a truck stop.
He comes to me like a very typical Israeli Jew.
Came to my barbecue once. The way he loves the way she speaks about him.
Yeah.
Like just as soon as she said like the comparison to like Jesus, and then you saw his like face go like,
babe, stop it.
Stop. I'm like so humble. Like,
babe, stop.
Don't do
and like I couldn't get this. Netflix has this fucking footage, but there's this one clip where she's like, I can't believe it. I'm fucking the Christ. She's literally, oh my God.
I'm just gonna say her look changed drastically, like for the worst.
Nick just got up to see.
For the worst.
Oh, guys.
She is weirdly weird looking now.
Oh no.
My God.
No. Okay.
No, but for real, it's like
Now she's like weirdly ugly.
Now she is weirdly sexy.
but they do have that vibe where like everything's made up on the fly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so like the Christ, but like she doesn't come to any point.
No.
There's no point to anything.
When
she
was
says.
that? What year was that?
2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right before
The
the vid.
pandemic was big for them. They got a lot of people in. As with any cult, this is something that is often met with skepticism. There's literally one person in the fucking Netflix documentary who says something hilarious. She's like, well, I'm Jewish, so like we never even got our first coming. So like I'm not gonna who the fuck is this guy? That's when she left.
Wow.
That's all it took. It's usually in a cult, this is the time where some people wake up and smell the Kool-Aid and walk away. And it was no different for TFU. This new claim prompted walkouts. But those who stayed were in for a whole new ride. Because when cult leaders start crossing lines like this and seeing that people are still loyal, they pick up speed.
Yeah, baby.
Around this time, Jeff has got multiple ventures going for him. He and Christine Emmerich are working towards trying to use her old connections at the Pentagon to sell the mind alignment process to the US military as a way to heal combat PTSD.
She used to work at the Pentagon?
Yeah.
Fuck.
What the fuck?
No, that's not a fucking joke. She was a fucking lieutenant colonel.
That's crazy.
Oh shit. So this is
She's in the net. Like there's video calls of her like, well, we're gonna use like I got my old friends at the Pentagon. Like I could talk to them and we could sell this. Like and
so that's why she had like that colonel girl and everything. Because you were talking about that, like high placed people in the military.
she's the one who she's the one who developed the mind alignment process with them.
Okay.
So this deal, Jeff says, would make him a billionaire. Coaches are also being told to go into different Facebook forums for PTSD and other psychological or medical illnesses to spam links to MAP's website. Be like, I have tuberculosis. This saved me. Here's a link. And it would literally get to a point where a lot of them would be put in like Facebook jail for spamming.
You know what though? I gotta say, this makes a lot of thing and like understanding how to like be a cult leader. Because the US military is kind of a cult and you do kind of brainwash the people in boot camp. So, I mean, I feel like everything she learned in the military, she probably used to create this cult to begin
It
with.
applies itself well.
This makes so much sense
This is
now.
creepy as fuck too.
Yeah.
It's very creepy. Like
I
when
know
you
this
start to
is-
find out like how deep this goes, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So Jeff has also started a gaming company called Divine Gaming Inc.
Wow, he's expanding.
Yeah.
Now he's an entrepreneur. And Jesus Christ.
This is what's crazy about those cults because you can tell. I mean, like, you know, the three things you were saying on how to tell it was a cult.
Yeah.
It's so easy because there is that, like, there is a method to that madness, like, especially being like, oh, I'm Jesus Christ, because the whole point of saying that now is being like, I really now need people that will do anything and everything I tell them to. So I need to weed out the people who still have doubts. So the second I say I'm Jesus Christ, I know that like half of these people are going to be like, hell fucking nah.
Yeah.
But the people who say yes,
That's
perfect.
who are those are my G's. Those are my loyal ones. Yeah,
And-
exactly.
And amongst these people, now you start to be like, okay, so what can you do? Oh, you're a video game developer? Fuck it. Let's go into video games. Oh, you do this? Fuck it. Oh, you have like you're in the Pentagon? Fuck it. Let's try to sell something for the Pentagon. It's like it becomes like a opportunity of grifting every step of the way. It's being like, you know what? You're in this. Let's fucking do something in this. Like it's so stupid, but that's how that works.
Yeah, so he started a gaming company called Divine Gaming Inc., which so far has only produced a mod for Minecraft and is recruiting programmers online.
I'm surprised they didn't go into
Baldur's
Roblox
Gate
after
4.
that.
So yeah, that's the it's called the Nightmare Craft mod. I mean, that's just that's their cover of their fucking video game page. It's nothing crazy, honestly.
They really honestly should have gone to Roblox. Roblox is honestly, we need to do an episode on that because it's kind of fucked up for kids.
Yeah,
as well.
Roblox is
It's
man.
fucked up. Yeah,
That
it's
sounds
fucked
fun.
up.
They got some
It's
like
all
child
over.
grooming stuff there too.
Child
and
grooming,
crazy-
child labor.
child labor.
Yeah. Because the way that works is like whatever you do in Roblox.
Are they building a railroad in Roblox? Like what?
Like if you program shit in Roblox, do something in it, they kind of just take it from you. They're just like, oh, thanks. Now we get all the percentage of that. Actually, now what you do, it's kind of like the Adobe. Whatever you do in, we just kind of take. It's
yeah, that's
ours
a weird-
now.
yeah.
So like child labor because it's children doing these things.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang. Another one of Jeff's ventures is Divine Dish, a meal plan service that Ascension coaches are required to subscribe to.
It's literally Uber Eats. It's Uber Eats, but you have to order from them.
No, you
And
know,
get,
it's
like, a
even
word of the
funnier
price.
actually. It's what's that fucking thing?
It's Uber
HelloFresh?
Eats, but they stalk
it's
you.
HelloFresh,
Say
exactly.
HelloFresh.
So you have to make your own food and you get insulted while you're doing it.
You fucking bitch.
It's like having Gordon Ramsay in your house,
You
but
didn't
instead he calls
fucking
you a
cook the steak right. What
You're
the
not gonna
fuck's
get your
wrong with
twin
you?
flame because you fucking burnt your chicken.
you twin flame pussy.
twin flame pussy.
So, but it's even worse than that, right? Because, oh, by the way, HelloFresh sponsor us, right? So for $129 per month, they send you recipes that are supposed to keep you spiritually grounded and help you reach your divine glow. They don't send you ingredients.
Okay, so they just send like list of recipes.
I think
Yes.
they send you ingredients, no? Do they send you?
HelloFresh, yes, not
Yeah.
Divine Dish.
Oh, shit.
Divine Dish sauce.
129.
Wow.
Divine Dish sells you the hope of eating food,
Because you have to do the effort yourself. You have to believe in yourself.
and you have to buy your food yourself.
How can you be harmoniously paired with your food if you didn't cook it? or
But look,
or buy the ingredients.
Your bill has to be 3 matching numbers, or you just don't eat.
No, somebody else is doing the pricing on this one, but so it's $129 per month. That's just to get recipes.
That's not.
They have a cooking basics course. It's $99.
There you go. We're back.
They have a heart of cooking course, which I have no idea what the fuck that means. $49, and then they have one called Divine Glow, which is I think everything all together. With weekly sessions, which where they're probably gonna try to rope you into signing up for other shit. That's $199 also per month.
What's up with it? What happened to their numeral?
At no
thing?
point does food get sent to your house.
No. And it gets worse, okay? Because so these foods are supposed to keep you spiritually grounded. How do they do that? Most dishes prescribed through Divine Dish are red meats and high carb foods, which has led to intense weight gain and health issues for some members.
No kale?
No. Surprising. No, they're back on their hot dog game.
Okay.
So Keely was told to sign up for Divine Dish so she could stay grounded and be the support her man needed. She gained 70 pounds in 9 months.
Yeah, she'll be the support, all right.
God damn it.
She'll support the fucking house.
She's the main beam.
Yeah.
God damn it. Jeff and Shapoopy are also pressuring coaches to get more signups. In footage obtained by Netflix, Jeff can be heard saying, quote, "The lie is I don't have money for this. And the reality is people in third world countries pay for this shit." DeVoe, a woman in the group, she lives in a bedroom on a mattress with her son at her mom's house. And bitch gave me like $4,000 cash.
Oh, her son's going hungry.
Yep. He mixed his video, like he made his own MTV Cribs style house tour video, which is very uncharismatic and boring, as Nick said. But then he like, okay, but now let's get to business. Here's the math. And I tell you the numbers, right? So we're about to get into that.
You know, the process of helping someone into their harmonious union is the same process as helping someone into the products that Shilly and I created. Notice we're not creating a whole bunch more products and have an endless wheel. See you later, Charles. He's scampering off. No, you're good, buddy. I thought you were going to go off and do stuff. No, you just wanted to be acknowledged again. Yeah, okay, good. If you are, like bringing someone along on their ascension journey and helping them into the community and helping them into the resources that helped you attain your harmonious union, your friends attain your harmonious union, it's my products. And that's why they were created. It's the community that you enjoy. And you're going to feel closer to the community and more intimate in the work if you have all my products and you're actually using them and you're studying them. And that's what's going to make your clients a lot easier to work with, soften them up, and make it a lot easier on you. So you might see, well, they have $200 to give a month. They could give me that for coaching, or they could give that to Jeff for an all classes pass, and they couldn't coach with me. Well, your client's being real cheap. $200 a month is not a lot of money for a lot of people. Maybe if you're in a third world country, but like, look, you can still get a job and you can you can afford to pay for all this, because the alternative is not having your ascension journey and being stuck in fucking misery, not having your twin flame. And by the way, you manifest harmonious union and you're doubling your resources like this. So don't feel bad about charging people properly. You need to think of yourselves as business people who have something really valuable, and if people don't want to like pay for it, they don't want to pay properly, don't worry about them. Like, you're going to do your best, but you need to recognize that you have something of great value. And these numbers are pretty crazy. Just 36 clients, weekly clients.
It's a drawing of a dick.
Is $150,000 a year. And that house that I showed you, the $700,000 house, you can afford that after 2 years.
So while all this is happening, many of the coaches are hiding insane debts and financial struggles in order to sell the idea that TFU means success. Members are spending upwards of $10,000 and $20,000 into courses and services. All the while, Jeff and Shalila are flaunting their money in their faces. Jeff is making videos by his Porsche, flexing their stupid fireplace with $11,000 worth of crystals, always letting you know they're decked out in Chanel or Armani, claiming to still be these hippies and then returning around and being the most trashy nouveau riche dickheads.
Fuck yeah.
Hi there, and welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back.
Today we're going to talk about something that is both very delightful and wonderful, and also actually really sensitive to us. Today we just discovered that we're not just millionaires, we're multi-millionaires. And it's been this way for, almost a year now. Been
People
a millionaire.
are probably wondering, like, don't you look at your bank account?
Yeah, no, seriously,
Or did you
like
not know?
I was always told it would be this way. Like you're just so focused on your work and your career that you don't realize that you become a millionaire. And like I'm like, that's stupid because I check my bank account like regularly. I'm always on top of that, right?
All right.
But
you went to business school.
right, and the definition of a millionaire is not that you have $1 million in cash in the bank, unless all you have is cash. The definition of a millionaire is a person who has more than $1 million in net worth. It's your net worth, and it means like how much you have in assets. And I know that like Ego is going to take this video and use it as an example of how we're such scammers.
Don't do that, please.
Oh my god.
Not very nice.
Well, it's not very nice to you. Because if you go back in our channel, we we're driving that shitty Saturn and you saw us grocery shopping, and just a few years later we're here telling you that we're literally multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
So if you say
Telling you, this man doesn't have a forehead; he has a 5 head.
you really just look for yourself.
Took that double chin and put it up top.
Because we're here offering this wealth to you. We're not going to hand you our assets. We're going to hand you the true assets that we have, and that's our wisdom, our knowledge, our understanding, and we're sharing our being with you. And that's the thing that's wealthy, and that's the only thing that you need to be far wealthier than we are, before you today. So let me explain exactly what I mean by multimillionaire, and we want to.
So like, fuck, shut the fuck up already, man.
Didn't he say like 3 times what the definition of multimillionaire is? It's
Yeah.
less than 2 minutes. You didn't do the math. You know what? I'm not good at math. Thought I was good, but when he showed me his Porsche, I said he probably knows more than me.
Knowledge.
Knowledge and religion.
Oh, yeah. One day, Keely wakes up to a strange notification on Facebook. She has been tagged in a post made by Jeff where he has named her the new CEO of Twin Flames Universe. All of this without ever discussing it with her.
Oh no.
Damn.
Scapegoat, baby.
So I just wanted to proudly announce here on the pod right now, the person taking over the podcast is Z.
Z, thank you.
Thank you,
He's
Z.
the new host.
Yep.
You're going to research the episodes from now on?
You get control of all the bank accounts as well, so good luck with that.
When the ad revenue comes in, it'll be a 10% slip. So I get 90, you get 10. But you'll be the face of the podcast.
And you're on everything. Pleasure to meet you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You got to start editing too.
Oh damn.
You inherit all the debt, but it's just gonna show your character and motivation.
So when
And if you're not doing enough, well, twin flame pussy.
yeah, you're being a twin flame pussy if you're not doing enough. When Keely inquired about the new what the new title would entail, Jeff told her that her new job was to figure out how Jeff and Shalila could get away with all the money they were making and paying the least amount of taxes.
Get a fucking accountant.
I know, right? No, why get an accountant when you can have one for free?
Yeah.
They definitely work for you.
Make an accountant. Even better.
That pays you.
That pays you to do your accounting.
This is where they start fucking up because they so little want to spend money now that they start being like I said, they're trying to recruit within their own people, but then a lot of their own people don't have like that type of like knowledge or whatever. So I'm guessing this is gonna fuck up in a really bad way, but it's good that it fucks up in a bad way. They deserve
it fucks up in a bad way because they're kind of scapegoating her, but they're also bringing her into a different room, a room where all their shit is, like all their secrets are. Now she's looking at the books. Now, like she's looking at plans and other things too, right? And they assume that she's completely loyal. But
Oh yeah.
there's a
baby.
reason Keely's story is public. So these discussions eventually evolved towards Jeff making the next leap in his cult leader journey, becoming a church. They founded the Church of Union, in which Jeff would be Father Christ and Shalila Mother Christ. In the documentary, there are clips where Jeff is outright admitting to doing this because he needs to gather a large amount of people to come to Michigan and work for free as volunteers instead of employees. For what reason? We'll get to that in a minute.
No taxes, baby.
No taxes.
Fuck yeah. So would that dissolve your taxes that you had to pay for the last 7 years and stuff too? I wonder.
No.
Nick's
I don't
trying to
think
find
so.
out if he can just write everybody that works for him as volunteers, and then pay him on the sly.
So for a while in their twin flame journey, Jeff as Christ and Shalila Magdalene were talking about the concept of a third flame, which for them was their unborn daughter Grace. And they peddled this idea for years like it was some sort of running joke. They were meant to have a daughter named Grace. And then they went on trying to have children in the hopes of landing with Grace, but they had medical difficulties. One of the pregnancies turned out to be ectopic. For a while, it had seemed hopeless for the two. You could see this taking a toll on Shalila in videos. You could see like she was kind of like, it was kind of getting to her, like having these issues and stuff like that. But they found a way around this issue by conceiving Grace in vitro, simultaneously assuring that the baby would be exactly what they had in mind. Shalila claims this herself in one of the calls, saying, quote, "We didn't go through IVF for infertility reasons. We wanted to assure that Grace got the right body for her gender-wise." And the weirdness doesn't stop there, because Grace is also meant to be the most ascended baby of all time, with both Jeff and Shalila claiming that she will not need a sexual partner because God will be her sexual partner.
Bro, that's some terrifying shit.
Whatever that
Damn.
means.
Isn't God kind of meant to be Jeffrey though? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Very weird.
That's where it gets odd.
Quote, "Our third twin flame is a so-called celibate because she can satisfy herself completely and give herself all the sex she needs." Yeah, I've been like talking to her about that. So, very fucking weird. And their plans with the baby are pretty straightforward. Grace is going to be a human content mine for Jeff and Shalila. Quote, "We're not going to hide our baby. It's going to be one of those YouTube babies." While all this is taking place, Jeff was busy doing what cult leaders do at this stage, moving fast. They started buying land in Michigan, as well as a 300-person event hall that Jeff planned on renovating and converting into a farm. All of this would be achieved with the help of volunteer members who were expected to move to Michigan and live in trailers.
He really read the how-to guide to start a cult.
Oh yeah.
Once you get the farm, that's when things go well.
Yeah. That's where you see nothing but progress.
So these members were not only there for their free labor, they were there for something much darker. This next part of my script is called eugenics. In the Netflix documentary, Keeley says that the people that were called to move to Michigan with Jeff and Shalila were also expected to start having children, with one of Shalila's Facebook posts reading, "Hey everyone, thank you for joining and accepting my invitation for this holy cause of birthing the golden children." Yeah. How you doing?
Too much.
Z did not expect this to be the episode he got called in on.
So they got all these guys get into all this debt, and they're like, now it's time to have kids together.
Yeah, I mean,
That's some weird shit.
That's fucked up.
Let's have a big ass orgy.
Yeah.
The golden children are supposedly going
Just
to
want to
be.
get pregnant wins.
Oh God,
Does Jeff have to inseminate everyone?
that hasn't been declared yet. But
Damn, that'd be tough.
He can't. Well, he could. But he can't.
that's his vibe. So the golden children are supposedly going to be ascended upon arrival and destined to be paired as twin flames with other golden children, so organized marriages. Around this period, Jeff and Shalila started enforcing stricter control regarding relationships, marriage, and even pregnancies. They started holding calls, giving people crap for getting married or even getting engaged without their knowledge.
How could you be so selfish? They're like, you know how much content we could have had if you just freaking...
You're my student. You do not school me. If you think that you understand something better than me, by all means, bring it to the table. I invite you to challenge my spiritual mastery. I encourage you. I dare you. But I assure you, you probably don't. And if you don't want to bring it to the table and clearly challenge my mastery and enlighten me, then you should shut the fuck up and listen. And if you can't do that, you will not be able to sustain yourself here. And the debt that you incur by lying here is only going to accrue. So this should make it feel really safe to be vulnerable. It should feel really safe to relax into the spiritual principles that we have established ourselves upon. If you do not feel safe here, bring it up, because this is supposed to be a really safe sanctuary, a safe container for love. That's the only way that it grows. If it's not a safe sanctuary for my love, then I'm not going to invest in it. But I'm not going to accept an unsafe sanctuary for very long. And once I learn the principles, once we've mastered, once we've loved, once we've patched the holes, we only rise. Excuse me, if you haven't noticed, in all the years we've been doing this, it's been a straight shot upward overall. And that's never going to change because of what we understand about reality. So, no more engagements or marriages without exclusive permission of the Church of Union. Do not proceed beyond this point without explicit permission with the Church of Union. And if you choose to, and I know some of you are very close to this line, then leave. Or we will politely ask you to leave. We're not going to keep around those who would leech from us. And this is a really, really sacred, intimate, important, big thing, harmonious union, that we take very seriously. This is the core of Twin Flames universe, is harmonious union.
Even a dog was saying, "You full of shit."
It's on harmonious union. Creating a heaven on earth is done with a foundation of harmonious union.
This is what we've been here for, and this is our core partnership with you. It's harmonious twin flame union and marriage into the Church of Union. That's the core. That's the fundamental purpose and reason of our relationship. And if you're not here to partner with us in doing that, like, get honest with yourself, because we quite frankly feel robbed. And I'm not going to sit here and allow my family and my work and my spiritual community to be robbed in my church. You don't have a place here. And honestly, like, it hurts to see that. So if you know of anyone that is engaged, you know,
if you're considering getting
or
engaged,
if you're considering yourself, you know,
partner with the church.
Please pass on this message to them.
Or fuck off. And actually, when you fuck off, that's it. Gone by. You have expended your opportunity.
Right. And this is not in any way unreasonable, what Jeff and I are saying and what we're asking.
It's excruciatingly generous, as always.
It's generous. And once again, it's the whole reason why we're here. So no one's going to blame me for that. So let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap this up, and then the video is 20 minutes.
The video has like 20 more minutes.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, let's wrap this up.
That was a good, like,
fucking excruciating. I know it's
hard to listen
excruciating.
to.
I know it's hard to listen to. He's fucking twerpy and annoying. And he's like, fuck off. You know what, I was thinking about it too. Wouldn't it be really funny as soon as she starts, like, shut the fuck up for a minute. Like, that keeps going. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jesus. Oh my God, I'm sorry, Jesus. Shit. That's all she does most of the calls, by the way. She's like, yeah. Right, yeah.
It's not like unreasonable for us to ask for this.
And so then they start telling people who and who is incapable of having a baby. They did this by collecting everyone's financial information in a spreadsheet and determining that couples with a certain amount of income were obligated to have a child. There's that spreadsheet. It's called Golden Parents. It's got a list of the couples and how much their current monthly income is.
what's the top?
I don't think it's in any order, actually. And then on the right of that is the desired amount of children. Yeah, so like 2 to 3, 1, 3.
The
Did I
people
say 14.
$2,000 a month. The couple with $2,000 a month should have 3 children.
Yeah, that's not very viable. Live in the barn for free. No, you're probably gonna have to pay rent at the barn.
Oh my god, yeah, probably.
He's like, well, it's not free to keep everybody here. Keely, being eligible at the time, lied about her income to not be part of that bunch.
Smart shit she did.
Yeah. And as for
It's not
couples,
like the IRS. They won't hunt you down.
she is the accountant anyways.
Yeah.
For couples who were not physically able to have babies, would be told to get sperm donated from another member. Who the couple would pick as a donor was up to them for some time, but eventually Jeff decided that he would be the only one to decide whose sperm a couple would get.
It's always his.
I fucking knew it.
They're the Bene Gesserit. This is again raised intense amounts of doubt among a lot of the members, notably Keely, who after lying about her income discovered she had the autonomy to rebel against Jalila. But as she and other members tested these rediscovered abilities, Jeff quickly aimed to shut them down. He made them watch 2 documentaries on Nexium, another cult, and told them to write an essay on why Jeff was not a cult leader.
You have to convince them you're not a cult leader.
Go watch that documentary. That guy is way worse than me. But this worked in the opposite direction as it just opened those members' eyes even more to the manipulation they were under.
Wait, so he made them watch a documentary that goes probably in depth of how these people got manipulated into it, which is probably similar to what he did. And
Probably
he was
a
like,
step-by-step
now they'll
tutorial.
know. Yeah, like, now they'll know that I'm not that. Because, like, he ended up just having a harem. I'm not doing harem shit.
You see, that's where you know he's completely lost the plot with reality.
He didn't even watch the documentaries. He just told him to watch it. That or
I
he just
heard good
completely just it washed over him. He doesn't realize like that's like literally what I'm
He's
doing.
Jesus Christ. He cannot do anything wrong.
It's okay when Jesus does it.
Yeah.
So, oh, by the way, side story, but at some point he also had Keely read a book. He told her just read this book and tell me what you think about it. And it turned out to just be a fucking zombie novel that Jeff wrote.
He
Writes his own novels.
He wrote one novel about a
Fuck
zombie
yes.
apocalypse, and yeah, and in there's a passage about hot dogs.
That's wild.
Just side story there. And she was like, I was praying that he wouldn't ask me for a report on it because I was like. So, sometime during COVID, journalist Alice Hines was working on a piece about Jeff, Shalila, and TFU. Around the same time, Sarah Berman, another journalist, who was also working on a piece on TFU. Both of them had families of members reach out to them. Both of them were unknowingly racing to write the same piece about the same cult at the same time. A twin flame coincidence, if you will. Berman popped the cherry, breaking out with her article titled, "This YouTube School Promised True Love. Students say they got exploited instead." Hines' scoop was taken, but she felt like there was still room to expand on Jeff and Shalila, so she reached out to them and asked them for their side of the story. Hines went to stay with them at their mansion, saw the crystals and how they filmed their videos. Jeff asked her to be on a video with them. And on the video, he's trying his cult shit because like one of the things, right? The power of eye contact is intensely insane. And it's actually a tactic that a lot of cult leaders use. They have they never break eye contact. They talk to you constantly like that. And Jeff is somebody who is described as having like these clear blue eyes or whatever. And so he does that and he's trying to do that with her. They also try to turn around anything you may have said against yourself, kind of to be like, well, I didn't say that, you said that. And so there's this really funny because like Alice is kind of aware of what she's getting into when she's going to talk with him. And so it's really funny to see it in this video because he does the weirdest thing where he says that she's like a cross between Virginia Woolf and Edgar Allan Poe.
He's never read.
He's never
read. He has no idea what even Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf even is about. He has no idea who Edgar Allan Poe is about. Like I don't think so.
Priscilla, you got to hear this clip. I know you would rage at it.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about past lives first. So you came, you're interviewing us. You're here for a couple days, and you wanted to know like what was my channeling like. And so you experienced our channeling, and we channeled a couple of your past lives. What was that like for you?
It was really interesting, and I think a good representation of what you mean when you say channeling.
Okay, what do you think I mean when I say channeling?
Channeling all this bullshit.
Well, I guess I don't want to speak for you because I don't want to make a mistake, but I have it in my notes.
Sure. What do you think I mean when I say channeling?
I think what you told me is you mean basically getting a message getting kind of a signal from God, I think you put it, that indicates some reality about the world.
Some reality about the world. Okay, that's quite vague, but that's very careful. So that's fine. So we channeled your past lives, and it sounds like you're unsure about whether it's real or not, and that's fine. You're, I believe, exploring the idea of who I channeled you to be.
Yeah, you said I was Edgar Allan Poe and also Virginia Woolf.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts. So like most of my audience knows who this is sitting next to me. I think that's really cool and exciting. That Edgar Allan Poe, actually feminine being. There you go. You're welcome for that one too.
Oh, okay,
It's
interesting.
a new channel. Right?
What do you mean by feminine being?
Well, Gabe is a masculine person, and he was born in a woman's body.
Gabe being one of your students who we met.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows who Gabe is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I guess maybe not everyone.
No, not everyone.
But
Get to the fucking point.
how you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good. I'm waiting for the answer on feminine being.
Oh, okay.
He's
So
buff.
Edgar Allan Poe is a feminine being in a man's body because 1800s, how are you gonna write if you're a woman? It's really hard. And you had said, well, heck, I'd rather write than be a woman. I think that was your response. Wasn't that your response there when we talked about that, about Edgar Allan Poe?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't remember saying that exactly, but
The essence of. I don't have notes and a recorder here. I just get the general gist.
yeah, I have to go back and.
Don't worry, no one's gonna quote you. It's just a feelings
They
sort
can
of
quote
thing.
me.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's.
You can't be challenged.
I do love her though because she's like, yeah, I'm waiting for you to explain this bullshit.
She has no idea what the fuck is going on.
He was just spitting bullshit the whole time.
So,
But she's like the only this is what it looks like when immediately you call
Edgar
her
Allan
bullshit.
Poe, famously a woman.
Well, it's also just, did he say it's oh, well, at the time he had to choose between being a woman and being able to write. So he's like, well, I want to write, so I guess I'll be a man or something. I was like,
And
what?
it's as if women couldn't write. I was like,
Literally.
motherfucker, literally, what, Mary Shelley, who else is on there? Yes, exact, the Brontes,
He speaks to her as if they have this inside connection, but she's just sitting there being like, yo, bro, what's going on?
Yeah,
here?
especially when he's like, yeah, so Gabe, and then it's like,
Everybody
Gabe?
knows Gabe.
Who's Gabe? And then he's like, everybody knows Gabe. And then she's like, okay, well, maybe not everybody knows Gabe.
He just rambles.
Yeah, he just rambles,
rambles.
and it's when he gets caught in his bullshit, he's like, wait, what did I say before? Okay, wait, now I got to do something to fix this. And he's trying to
he
fix
thought
it.
it would be
can't fix it.
something really badass to say, oh yeah, she's like a cross between Virginia Woolf and Edgar Allan Poe, and then she's like, what? The fuck? I've actually read these people. What are you talking about? And then he's like, are we good? And it's like, no. What the fuck did you mean by that?
I love how she didn't let it go. She said, I'm still waiting for your answer about
That's what it takes.
feminine
It takes a
Exactly.
journalist, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I love that too because he trailed off and fully expecting that he got her where he needed her to be, and she's
Or,
like,
she
"I'm
let it
still
go.
waiting. You promised me to say this.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting." And then he did, and she's like, "This is some fucking dumbass." You can see in her face, she's like, "Mm-hmm."
and they were really expecting her to come there and write a puff piece about them. They really they didn't think that she was going to put them on blast. They thought oh, she's coming and she's gonna fix this. She's gonna fix what Vice said about us.
Well, I don't think they realize how uncharismatic and dumb they are.
No, they lack the self-awareness to do
Yeah.
so. Jeff and Shalila were blindsided. They truly expected Hines to give them the PR they needed to get back from the Vice article. They threatened Hines, Berman, Vice, Vanity Fair, and all the people who spoke to them. They threatened them with lawsuits and blackmail. So some cases were thrown away because the judge ruled that Jeff had filed them in Michigan with the ill intention of hiking up the legal fees. You know, he was like, and he did admit to this, by the way. He did like send them a blackmailing letter that said like, I'm going to charge you guys and in Michigan. So you're all going to have to travel here, pay for lodging and everything, and your legal expenses are going to go up. This apparently is not considered a crime, even though it's basically blackmailing, but you know, whatever. The articles did cause some walkouts by some major people in the group. One of them being Keely, who had finally had enough after she was forced to attend a 24-hour therapy session with Jeff, in which he berated and insulted her while she was not allowed to move or speak.
Wow, so that journalist really pissed him off that she actually spoke back.
Yeah. This is when he starts to crack a bit. Yeah, like
She still has her sister, right? She didn't just leave her fucking sister.
we're gonna get to that,
Okay.
right? And like he starts to crack at this moment, by the way. Like he has to start because a lot of people leave because of this. And then a lot of the people who are just entering the group also walk out on their coaches after this because they're like, oh, we saw the Vanity Fair article. We don't want, like they all start to notice it. And so Jeff has to go back to start doing live classes to make ends meet, but they're still putting out videos. He gets way more intense and aggressive. I apologize. I got to show you another clip.
You're going to get the clients. And I know, we all know, we're all part of this big team. Who's sloughing off and being a piece of shit? And we're all going to have to watch out for this. There's Lazy Bones over there fucking us all. Lazy Bones is one, no longer going to get clients funneled to them, and two, no longer going to hold a position which holds everyone else up. Because guess what? If you're fucking around over in the TikTok team, I sent my client over to TikTok and it sucks. Fuck you. My business depends on all of you. And I want to make sure that all of you doing your fucking jobs. Everyone's going to be looking at everyone else. Hey, are you upholding the standard? Sure am. Sure am. So are you. So are you. Yeah, it's going to have awesome camaraderie because we're all working together to build a beautiful thing where everyone's fucking prosperous, where everyone has a large amount of clients, many clients as you can handle, that feels good to you, that you can serve, that finally you are of service in the way that you want to be. Finally.
Now he's really treating it like he's a boss, like he's the boss of the business. And like now he's talking to, like he's really, like at this point, he's really not hiding that it is
I'm a bit
his way of life.
He's out in the open
confused.
and some
He's
people
literally
stay.
saying business, like my fucking business, my business of doing things, and you guys, the clients. Like he's not even saying like I don't know the apostles or some bullshit.
No.
Like he's saying clients. That doesn't.
Our people.
It's no longer, it's no longer even the spiritual twin flame shit. It's real. This is desperation.
Yeah, he's starting to crack, like you said. Like he needs that money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He needs to pay his rent, his car payments,
His Porsche,
Porsche.
his fancy crystals.
Yeah.
And this is
the
the
one
part
that his wife keeps
Shaka
on
Zulu
buying.
keeps coming in with crystals.
Shaka Zulu.
God damn it.
Yo, for real. Is that another crystal? God damn it, babe. This is a recession.
I gotta run another meeting now.
So while members in high posts of TFU were leaving, one of them gave Keely a drive and told her to keep it safe. If TFU was now a church, this drive was their holy grail. It contained every call, every YouTube video, every course, including the ones that were no longer public. In 2021, Keely and Colby left the group, but not before getting her sister Marlene the fuck out of Utah.
Yes.
Right.
They
Oh,
got her
fucking
out.
time.
Months after leaving, Keely started exposing TFU on TikTok and Instagram. She is the reason the documentaries had so much footage of what was going down inside the cult. Despite escaping twin flames together, Marlene has cut contact with Keely. Keely spends her time making amends to the people she's hurt, and doing her part to expose the cult.
I can't blame her for that. Like
Yeah,
I think
no.
it's gonna take a long time before any type of like actual like
Yeah.
Relationship
camaraderie. Yeah, like the relationship, because like you basically kind of sold off your sister, like indirectly sold her off to some grown man.
Because Keely was Marlene's coach
yeah,
too.
yeah.
And she was the coach for some of the people as well who were forced to transition.
Yeah. So yeah,
Keely was
Keely is
doing
a big
that
part of it
for them.
And also
Yeah.
multiple years in a relationship you don't want with
Yeah.
somebody that doesn't
Yeah.
treat you right.
Yeah.
And
You
then not
never
only that,
wanted
but
to
your
be part of
sister
it.
put you in it.
Yeah,
Like, that's wild.
that's a lot.
And the woman and her partner Katrina got married in 2023 and have been living happily ever since.
Good.
Despite the rumbling that was caused by the release of the articles and documentaries, the Church of Union is still growing to this day.
Right now, it's still active.
Yes.
Oh, I thought this was all going to come to like a
Nope.
crash.
MAP, TFU, and Divine Dish are still open for business. I myself was able to join the forum and be invited to my first lesson. It was easy as 1, 2, 3. This is because, as with most cults, they are protected by the US Constitution, which includes freedom of religion without fear of persecution. When family members call the police to report about their loved one being sucked into a cult, the police simply ask, is the person there out of their own volition? Is the person being held against their own will? This is the balance in which most cults tend to comfortably reside, right on the cusp of doing something violent, dangerous, or illegal, but never transgressing to that point. And only when that line will be crossed will we see some form of justice start to take place. But until then, the fire continues to spread.
The fire of love, baby.
Basically, the police can't arrest no one because like being hypnotized can't you
prove
can't
it.
arrest somebody for hypnotizing somebody.
And it's like they voluntarily gave money to these people. And it's like, well, they didn't go into the bank account and steal it. So it's just like,
Yep.
I can give you money.
That's crazy.
Like all of the things they're doing, technically it's like it's out of their own will, and then they turn it into a church. They're doing the legal way of evading taxes.
But it's always like been about the money. If you're a place that has business, but then like you register yourself as a religion, obviously, then when you go through all the legal loopholes and it's a place of business and people are kind of actively giving you money for it, they almost like they'll not only wipe their hands off it, but they'll be like, well, if we can get a piece of that pie as well, then even better. Honestly, do what you will and everything. Like cults have been just so much prevalent because the United States make it the most prevalent thing to have.
Yeah.
There's a reason why people like move out from different like states or whatever countries to go to the States, build a farm there and just stay there, not paying anything, having free labor and nothing happening because it's the best place in the world to do it.
Yeah.
This is the American dream. God bless America.
This is really it. I mean,
Using religion to make some goddamn money.
Fuck yeah.
Jeff has gone from fucking pulling ripe bananas off a tree, eating hot dogs every day for every meal.
I don't think he was ever a vegetarian, to be honest.
Probably not. It was a phase.
To
Yeah.
being Jesus Christ.
To being Jesus Christ.
To being the Master Christ on a Tekken game.
Yeah, bro. All right. Well, that is it for today. Thank you. What a juicy episode that was. Oh, yeah. By the way, the reason I was saying that is because every lesson that Jeff gives, he starts with that.
Juicy.
Yay, guys. We have a juicy episode for you guys. A juicy Twin Flames episode.
Nice moist.
We gave you
Yeah.
a juicy podcast today. Thank you, guys.
So that was a juicy podcast. Thank you, Z, for being our guest. Do you have anything to plug for yourself?
Absolutely. Go follow my channel, YouTube channel, JustFairPlay. It's one word. Same thing for TikTok and Instagram. We took a little break, but we back on it. And yeah, a lot of content, hip hop, sports, everything, pop culture, Donald Trump, everything.
The Donald.
Getting the right keywords to get us in the algorithm.
Yeah.
It's good.
Let's get the algorithm.
Yeah, and Dimension Joe, whatever. But yeah, anyways, go check it out. Y'all are going to enjoy it.
He's
Thanks
also
so much,
a
Z.
fine actor. You could see him in two of
thank
my
you.
shorts. Killer Bubbles from Outer Space.
Still
And
waiting
my
on more.
favorite.
I'm still waiting on more roles, motherfucker.
I'm working on it.
God damn it.
I'm writing as we
If
speak.
I see you make another movie and I'm not in it, I'm coming for your ass. Just know
damn.
Pause. Pause that shit.
He's also one of my favorite shorts. Joe likes his face.
He's not in Joe Likes. Oh, yeah, he is in Joe Likes.
I
His
was.
Face.
I am.
Prisoner.
I was a fucking extra. I was a damn good extra too.
Yeah, that's right.
God
God damn it.
I was going to say, you're my favorite part of the movie.
Thank you. A good 2 seconds.
That
God
bandana
damn it.
works well on you.
As with
Thanks for having me,
everything. Hey, no problem. We loved having you. As with everything, I am John. You can follow me on Instagram at Director John Ramirez. I also make movies at Deadtime Media on Instagram and YouTube. What else am I doing?
Hi, I'm
You're
Nick.
short.
Wait, my bad. I gotta plug my short tape. You're right. I just dropped a short film called Window. You can check it out. That's spooky. Also, check out Ziad in a short film directed by both me and Priscilla called Society of the Bread. You can check that out. We love you. Next.
Hey, I'm Nick. You can find me on Instagram at nick.serafino, and that's it.
Yep, it's John. Don't usually plug anything, but like just show us some love. Give us some 5 stars if you liked it. Let us know what you like to hear, what you like to see. We're trying to find something fun for our ramblings. So if you guys got any ideas, just let us know. Give us a little bit of feedback. We love y'all. Priscilla.
I don't plug anything really. I just wanted to say bye, guys, and thank you for this great episode, John.
Thank you so much. Follow us on Instagram at BVEPod. Follow us on TikTok at BVEPod. Take care. We love you. Goodbye.
You fucking twin flame pussy.
You fucking twin flame pussy.